Good evening, everyone. Welcome along to this alternative coverage of the Premier League between Tottenham Hotspur and Manchester United. I'm your alternative host, Mike Harneman. We've got JB in the commentary box for this one. And also we've got Ryan Francis going to be bringing updates of Barnet's game against Aldershot as well from the National League. So first of all, over to you, JB. And it's a big night for Man United on the back of that result last week, isn't it?
Absolutely. The teams are actually coming out here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. A big game for them, Mike. I tell you, both Tottenham 7th, Man United 8th. A win would take one of these two teams into the top 5, potentially, and maybe kickstart their season. But I tell you what, United have made a lot of changes for this one tonight, Mike. I can tell you that.
So we'll hand straight back to you now, JB, and you can run through how those two sides are looking.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mike. And as I said, we'll be checking up with Barnet with Ryan very shortly. Thanks, Mike. Let's give you the two lineups. Lloris in goal for Tottenham, Emerson Royal, Romero, Dyer and Davis, the back four. Two holding midfielders in Højbjerg and Skip. Then it's Mora, Lo Celso and Son further forward, and Harry Kane up front. Or it could turn to be 4-3-3. Golini, Doherty, Reguilon, Sanchez, Rodon, Dele Alli, Bergwijn, Tanganga and Ndombele on the bench. For Manchester United, several changes. David De Gea keeps his place in goal despite conceding 5. It's a back 3 today of Lindelof, Varane and Maguire. And then it's Wan-Bissaka, McTominay, Fred and Shaw. 4-man midfield. Bruno Fernandes was player of the holder. And a 2-man attack, it seems to me, of Edison Cavani and Cristiano Ronaldo. Henderson, Bally, Rashford, Greenwood, Lingard, Dalot. Sancho, Matic and Van der Beek are the Manchester United substitutes. The referee today comes from Nuneaton, that's Stuart Atwell. And before the kick-off, while they're just having a few warm-ups, let's just check on the team news at Barnet with Ryan.
So let's start off with the Barnet team, who are at home at the Hive today. So starting in goal is Aston Oxborough, who is on loan from Premier League strugglers Norwich City. And then we also have Sam Beard, Matt Brundle, Kai Flanagan, Wesley Fonguk, Ryan Greenbridge, Alex Marriott, Edward Mason-Clark, Brent Richards, Everton, Harry Taylor, the captain, and Sam Woods. And for Aldershot, we have got a bit of a son and dad situation with the Aldershot team. Son Laurie Walker is in goal. Matt Birmier, Thomas Edisser, Kai Jordan, Lewis Kinsella, who is an ex-Sunderland player, Kai Leons Foster, Mantui Njunji, and Kian Oxlade-Chamberlain, who is the younger brother of Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, who did quite well for Liverpool today. Graham Toure, Josh Vennings, and Scott Wagstaff. And on the bench, as I said, is the father of Laurie Walker, the goalkeeper, which is Matthias Walker. So this could be a very interesting game, as both of these teams are fighting relegation. 19th place Barnet are playing 20th place Aldershot, so this game could go either way. But just to look at the points difference between these two, as I said, they are together in the table, but there is a whopping 7 points difference between Barnet and Aldershot in the table. So I'll head back to you now, JB.
Yes, and we're just remembering the war dead now, as Spurs remembered all those who have fallen in all the world wars as well. I'm just going to pause for a second. Well, the last post beautifully strung out there, and the next couple of weeks, of course, Remembrance Sunday is on the 7th of November. Let me remind you, And of course, the next couple of weeks will be all football will be paying its respects to the people to the brave armed forces that have died in conflict over the last 120 or so years over World Wars I and II, as well as other wars throughout the last 100 and so years. It's very interesting to see. Well, the referee today, Stuart Atwell from Nuneaton. The players will take the obligatory knee, and the message from the Premier League is clear. There is no room for racism in football, and we echo that on the TCM and all the participating channels. Well, we're live here on all the TCM. On the first whistle, the players will take the knee, and that, as I said, and the fight against racism. And the players now do take that knee, and the message, as I say, is simple: no room for racism. And there's a nice applause around the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium from all sides as Manchester United in regulars underway. 4 games without a win. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's bus, his wheels on the bus are falling off at the moment, but can they get back on the road with a victory here today? Tottenham, of course, they had a bad result as well. 2 under pressure managers, you could say, up against each other today in terms really of the way the season's gone, both down in 7th and 8th places respectively. A win could take either one of these two sides into the top 5 and just release a bit of pressure on one of the 2 managers. Nuno Santos had a pretty tough start, although he was picking up a bit of form, but he had a welcome cup victory over Burnley in midweek. Although Oliver Skipp, who plays today, was very lucky not to have seen red for a possible, which could have been a leg-breaking challenge on Dwight McNeil. But Burnley have recovered sufficiently from that day and won 3-1 earlier today. And I suppose with the bigger teams dropping points, Liverpool dropping 2 at Anfield today, and of course Manchester City coming up short against Crystal Palace. What a victory for them, by the way. Then it sort of opens the door. But Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea were very ruthless at Newcastle today. So everything to play for here. And we'll keep you up to date with Ryan Francis down at Barnet for that game, that conference game. Well, National League they call it now. That game between Barnet and Aldershot down at the Hive. I almost said Underhill. That's the old stadium, of course. Not too far down the road from Tottenham, incidentally, North London way. Rafael Varane in from the start today. Didn't play in the game against Liverpool last week. Lindelof, who was all over the place. But Shaw and Wan-Bissaka are taking much more forward wing play position. So United are gambling with a back 3, even away from home. But here's Son Heung-min now on the left-hand side for Tottenham. Has to go back. And it's Ben Davies. And now Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Ben Davies again, the Welshman. Ball forward again. A little back heel from Kane. And then the ball played out towards the far side there from Lo Celso. And Emerson Royal, who showed some good runs in the cup game on Wednesday against Burnley. I was watching that game as a fan and as a Burnley fan, and of course checking up on Spurs just in case I was needed for commentary this afternoon, which indeed I am. So a little bit of a watching brief as well as supporting Burnley, of course, on Wednesday. Ball headed out of play for throw-in. Lindelof across there on the left-hand side. Both teams in traditional colours. Now Kane gets the ball here. Left-hand side. Maguire, Lindelof, gets it back to David De Gea. Had no chance of this with the 5 goals. But I've commentated on Manchester United for 6 years across JB Sports and the Commentary Hub. And I've never, in that time of covering Manchester United on any of those channels, alternate commentary on any of those channels on Manchester United, have I ever seen such a limp display as I saw at Old Trafford last week. Son Heung-min now for Tottenham. The pressure really is on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, really, when you think about it. He's had 3 years in the job at Old Trafford, and you've got to second place last season. There was a lot of false dawns when there was certainly a lot of hope and expectation when Ronaldo walked through the door. But from an outsider's looking in point of view, Spurs still have possession, so you're missing nothing at the moment. From an outsider looking in point of view, I think Ronaldo's inclusion, although it's been a decent success in terms of his goal return, it's probably been more of a hindrance rather than a help, really, because The problem with Ronaldo is he doesn't track back, as Michael Richards said in punditry last week after the Liverpool game. So it'll be interesting to see how United do defensively in their defensive shape. But at the moment, with 4 minutes gone, it's just a slow burner at the moment. No great opportunities. De Gea gets the ball inside his area. Kane near to him, but he kicks away over the halfway line, looking for Ronaldo. The ball out towards the far side there. And here's Emerson Royale. Down the line he goes. Emerson Royale. Good football again. Lo Celso again. McTominay involved. And this is going to be a tricky afternoon, I think, for both sides. A one win here could really kickstart both their seasons. Tottenham involved in the quarterfinals. They got their draw. They got a draw at who have they got in the quarterfinals now? I'm forgetting now. I think they've got a home draw in the quarterfinals anyway. So that takes place in December, by the way. The quarterfinals of the League Cup. West Ham, I'm being told. So yeah, it's not going to be easy for them. 5 minutes gone then at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Michael is also our producer as well as host tonight. Live Premier League commentary plus updates from the Hive in the Panorama National League. Here's Emerson Royal down the right-hand side. Cross was deflected. Chance here for Tottenham. Shot comes in and just wide from Son Heung-min from just outside the penalty area, just to the right of the D as he struck it. And I think De Gea may have had it covered, but Son Heung-min looks an absolute threat when he gets into those positions from in and around the penalty area. Although I must say, I thought that got a deflection off a defender. Did that deflect off Fred? Well, I thought it nicked off the defender. And indeed, the referee, Mr. Atwell, agrees. So it is a Tottenham corner. First of the game. And it goes the way of Tottenham Hotspur. 6 minutes gone at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, or what used to be known as White Hart Lane. Here comes the corner towards Eric Dyer. Comes out to Lo Celso on the edge of the box. And he fires... sort of scuffs it wide anyway with his left foot, and Kane was trying to keep the move alive, although there might have been a suspicion he may have been offside. But worrying moments for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's men at the start here. Very difficult to see really how his side have really, well, he had chances really to improve the back four. I mean, Varane looked a good signing at the start, hasn't been used enough, or he's not been fit enough. Here's Bruno Fernandes to Wan-Bissaka down the right-hand channel for Manchester United. Wan-Bissaka does really well, keeps the ball into that corner, keeps possession. Better from United. Fernandes with the cross into the penalty area. Flick on by Cavani, which goes wide of the, well, in fact, goes well wide of the left-hand upright, far left right and behind for Tottenham Hotspur goal kick. With just 7.25 minutes gone here at White Hart Lane, or the new White Hart Lane, although it is officially called the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but we know it affectionately still as White Hart Lane, don't we? And it's 0-0 between Tottenham and Manchester United here. And McTominay in very well there with the interception, and again gets the ball back as he trots towards halfway inside his own half. Ronaldo gets possession, and then he was fouled. Mr. Atwell did play advantage for a couple of seconds, and then decided that United didn't have a substantial advantage on the far side, and has blown quite rightly for a free kick to Manchester United, and away go United this time with Wan-Bissaka. Any updates on Barnet? We'll let you know if we get a breaking play. We're around about the 10-minute mark. We'll get a update from Ryan Francis, not too far away down at the Hive, to see for his alternate reports from that game. And we'll be bringing him updates. It's Cavani inside the area, gets a snapshot in. It was charged away. And Manchester United starting to get into gear. They're making one or two good half chances here, United. Starting with starting again very purposefully here. And in fact, let's we'll just break as soon as we get a breaking play. We'll go over to Ryan for an update. They've actually kicked off 10 minutes earlier than us actually down at the Hive. We're checking there as the shot comes in. As soon as we get a breaking play, we will We will get a quick update from Ryan Francis. Here's Wan-Bissaka. United on the attack. We've got to stay with this. Ball over the top, and Emerson Royal now tries to keep it in, and the ball out of play. It will be a throw-in to Tottenham. So quickly, let's go over to the Hive and join Ryan Francis for an update. And they've had, I think, around 20 minutes now. Ryan.
So yes, we are about 20 minutes into this game here at the Hive between Barnet and Aldershot, and both teams have had a very good opportunity each. Sam Beard with the best chance for Barnet. He had a free kick just outside of the area and stung the hands of Walker. And the best chance for Aldershot was a free kick just on the left-hand side of the box that was taken by Oxlade-Chamberlain, but I could tell you now that the shot was so high out of the stadium that there's only 7 miles between the Hive and the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And actually, Tottenham Hotspur do use Barnet's ground as their training ground, as we knew in midweek when both squads were training together. But that free kick was so high and wide, it could have possibly have gone the 7 miles between the stadiums and landed on the pitch at Tottenham, because it was just such a dreadful free kick. And the score here does remain 0-0 between these two teams that are both fighting relegation. Back to you, JB.
Thanks, Ryan. I'll watch out for that ball, incidentally. Anyway, 0-0 here as the ball is played forward. There were a couple of hard chances while you were away, but nothing too significant. You've not missed really anything in terms of real significant goal-mouth action while we were away for that few seconds. We'll check up on Ryan in a short while again for another update of if there's a goal going. We'll cut straight over there. That's 7 miles. And to the Hive. Yeah, interesting point that Brian made there in his report, that Tottenham do use the stadium down at Barnet as the training ground. So it's an interesting thing there, the point that he makes there. But we will watch out for the ball coming in from, mind you, we'll have to go some to get over our roof here at the Tottenham Stadium. It's quite a long, it's not like the Hive where it's very small, a very small compact ground. Tottenham's is a very vast arena. 60,000 you can get in here. And we've got not an empty seat in the house with 11 and a half minutes gone on the TC Hub, JB Sports, JDAC Football, TC Hub 2, Storm FM, and Twitter and Twitch. And of course, our Twitter feed is at Commentary Live 1 if you want to follow us on that. And we have a Facebook page, www.facebook.com/The Commentary Hub. And of course, we should give Melon, the Melon app a bit of a mention. Melon streaming app, check their website there. They're our streaming partners for the season, www.melonstreamingapp.com. Right, here come Manchester United, far side with Shaw into the area looking for Ronaldo. Ball comes back to Fred, couldn't control it. United now playing, keep ball in the area. Fred goes down, referee didn't even hesitate. He didn't even think about giving a penalty there. I don't think it was one. I think it was more of a little bit of a collision more than anything else, an accidental collision. There was no way in the world that a penalty was going to be given when Fred went going down there. But Tottenham again looking the more likely to concede here. United are very much on top in this opening 12 minutes or so as that ball came in there, came back out. Fred was in there, missed his kick, slipped over. That's what happened. And let's see, was there any contact? Well, from that angle, it looks that way. But VAR will be checking, of course. And Southampton winning at Watford today, not too far away as well. Watford having a good win last week, but have lost. Win probability, it's hard to tell at this stage. 37% to Tottenham, 33 Manchester United, the 30% being the draw. But that's early stages, and we can't really do too much into the win probability at this early stage of the game. It's still very even Stevens as we go into the 14th minute of this first half. Live across all TC Hub platforms and YouTube channels. And here's Royal on the ball now for Spurs. Son has it now on the far side. Just hugging that right-hand touchline from the far side. Eric Dyer now has possession. Now Højbjerg. Spurs keeping possession really well, I have to say, on the far side. Royal now has possession. Son Heung-min now trying to look for Harry Kane in the penalty area. How he could do with a goal, Harry Kane. Had a couple of good opportunities at Burnley in the week, but found Nick Pope in supreme form. Nick Pope really certainly looked back to his best days, as he did today against Brentford. Made 2 good saves in the first half from Ivan Toney, which was the bedwork for Burnley's 3-1 success today. Gets them out the relegation zone, although they could drop back into that zone if Leeds win at Norwich tomorrow. And of course, Aston Villa take on West Ham tomorrow. What a game that promises to be at Villa Park. But here in the late game, we've had drama. Arsenal won 2-0 at Leicester. Not many people would have thought about that, considering that Leicester have picked up in sparkling form recently. But Arsenal went there. Aaron Ramsdale performed heroics. And I'm sure Mike Arneman, our host, will have no trouble in saying all that at the break. As Lloris kicks away from his hand. So at 2-0 there. Liverpool have dropped points at Anfield against Brighton. A plucky Brighton who have made a terrific start to the season. Foul against Harry Kane in the 15th minute. Varane is the man down, and referee Atwell wanting words with Kane. Free kick to Manchester United midway inside their own half. And also, it's got to be said that Manchester City against Crystal Palace, that one probably the result of the day really for Patrick Vieira. Delighted for him. He's a very good young manager. Has a great experience, fast success in the game for France and for fans, definitely for Arsenal. And of course, he won a FA Cup with Manchester City at the end of his career. What a way to go for his playing career. And a very good playing career, Vieira. Not too far down the road at Highbury and then the Emirates. He's a really great, tenacious competitor he was in his playing days, and he certainly instilled that into his management as well. A great result for Palace. Meanwhile, Manchester United pick up the loose ball inside the Tottenham half, but Emerson Royal gets the ball over the far side, and out of play it goes for a throw-in for Tottenham Hotspur. As I say, Watford 0, Southampton 1, and there's been a goal in the game at Barnet. Here's Ryan Francis.
And Barnet have actually gone against the run of play here with a brilliant attack. The first time cross was blocked, but it came back out to the right-hand side where none other than Mason Clark could pick up the ball, put a cross into the box, and who else but Kai Flanagan was there to head home from around 6 yards out and give Barnet a crucial 1-0 lead here at the Hive. So it's Barnet 1, Aldershot 0.
Thank you, Ryan. 1-0 to Barnet against Aldershot. Bit of a derby, that one. Southern derby, that one in the conference. Here in the Premier League, it's Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0. Whilst we're away with Ryan, nothing much happened really in the way of clear-cut opportunities. Just been keep ball really from Tottenham while we were away, and now we're back now, and here's Lucas Moura picking it up. The match winner, of course, on Wednesday night, of course, against Burnley. Downward header into the net. No chance for Pope on that occasion. Here's Ben Davies now in towards Son Heung-min. Ball knocked forward towards Kane. And now a chance here for Lo Celso to break. But United looking a bit more stouter, I have to say, in defence. And it was interesting that Harry Maguire, I watched an interview with him on Football Focus at lunchtime, and he was saying that to Dion Dublin, in fact, he was saying that the players, we really hurt. We let ourselves down. We let everyone, we let the club down, and most of all, we let the fans down. And I thought that was, and he admitted it very much so in a very heartfelt interview. And you could tell in his face, really, when you watched that interview on Football earlier to this lunchtime, you could tell that he meant everything he said. He still looked ashen-faced about it all. And I think there's an intent here in this opening 18 minutes here that Manchester United look very good at the moment. But Spurs now just starting to come into it. They've won a free kick about 20 yards inside the half, and a yellow card is going to be issued to Luke Shaw. And a foul on Lucas Moura it was on the far side. Shaw actually initially lost the ball there to Romero, and then he brought down Lucas Moura here. Good play there, and he just sort of rugby tackles him to the ground. And you can get away with that down the road at Twickers, but you can't get away with it at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And that will get you a yellow card. Ball down the line towards Harry Kane. And Kane can't keep it in there, but can't keep possession, but he gets himself a throw in on the far side, and that's almost in line with the 18-yard box of Manchester United. He needs a go, and pretty damn quick, you'd have to say. Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0. We're coming up towards 20 minutes of the first half gone. We've had half an hour at Barnet there. Ryan has a goal for us. We've had a goal from Ryan. We just need a goal here, folks. And we've had plenty of other incidents and dramas today in the Premier League games. Are we going to get more here in the late game, I wonder? Here's Ben Davies, left-hand side for Manchester United. They appeal a penalty. Referee says no. He wanted handball against Wan-Bissaka, and there's 2-3 Tottenham players trying to surround the referee. Son Heung-min with a sarcastic smile towards the referee. Now, well, his arm looked down. It's a very hard one for me to say whether that was ball to hand or whether that arm was in an unnatural position. And VAR would have checked it anyway, and I think they're going to line up for the corner anyway, which tells me what you need. It tells us what you need to know, really. That I don't think it would have been a penalty in any case. And corner it is to Tottenham. Can they get that breakthrough and put more agony on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's shoulders? I wonder. Here comes the corner. Lo Celso with it, low corner, but didn't really reach the first man at the near post, and it's hit a bit up and under, and Son Heung-min controls it nicely round the corner. And again, United just do enough and get it out. And Højbjerg loops another high up and under. May have got a slight deflection which looped it over. Ball now on the right-hand side with Ronaldo. Touches it back to his fellow Portuguese, Bruno Fernandes. Now Ronaldo, little flick there back to Fernandes. One of the skill. Ronaldo's certainly still got the flicks and tricks and skills at the ripe old age of 36. He's like a fine wine, Ronaldo. Whether he's to blame for what's going on at Old Trafford or not, one thing you can't deny, he's still one of the greatest players of all time, and it's always a privilege to watch Cristiano Ronaldo as a neutral. Here's the ball played in there towards the penalty area. That's surely must be a free kick to Spurs. On the edge of the box, just to the right of the D, Maguire was the guilty party, and he becomes the second United player in 3 minutes to pick up a yellow card. And now Manchester United, having made a promising start in the first opening quarter of an hour, now all of a sudden find themselves under the caution. It was Oliver Skip, it was Lo Celso making the run, and he bodied, another rugby tackle there, potentially there on Giovanni Lo Celso there. Maguire knew exactly what he was doing there. With 22 minutes gone, we're halfway through practically the first half now at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham have a free kick right off centre, 2, maybe 3 yards outside the penalty box. Stuart Atwell urging United to the United wall to get back behind the line, which is 10 yards away from the kicker. Kane thought about it, but he stepped away. Diaz, Son, Lucas Moura, and a couple of others, Emerson Royal and Højbjerg are the 5-men committee. And they're going to try and cook up something here. Freddie's standing behind a 4-man wall, which includes McTominay, Maguire, Lindelof, and Fernandes. Or is it Varane? Varane, in fact. Fernandes is the 4th man. There's a couple of players, Spurs player in the wall, and it's Emerson Royal with a free kick. It was a poor one, really. Didn't get the height or the trajectory. Oliver Skip picks the ball up now, plays it back to Moore. A little chip in there towards Son. He's got him behind. Son Heung-min! Oh, he's knocked it over. Great opportunity, but I think the flag may have been up in any case for offside against Son Heung-min. It was a very close decision, but another little chip in there, which caused all the problems. The free kick from Emerson Royal was feeble, to say the least. Comes out to Oliver Skip here. Then Moore gets it. Chips the ball over the top, and it's very touch and go whether Son was offside. In any case, he puts it over pokes the ball over the bar with his right foot. I mean, took it down nicely on his left foot. But nevertheless, it's still Manchester United holding in there in a good little spell this for Tottenham. We'll check on events at Barnet in a few moments once we get a break in play. This is Shaw now for Manchester United, and Bruno Fernandes has broken the offside trap. Couldn't control it first of all, and then he's isolated. Wan-Bissaka offers a overlap as well as the header goes wide from Cavani. And a chance there within 60 seconds of the Son chance. And United couldn't take that opportunity as Cavani headed wide. Let's get an update from Barnet with Ryan.
And Barnet could be 2-0 up in this game. Aldershot have not learnt their lesson from the goal that they did concede. As out on the left-hand side, Marriott picked up the ball completely unmarked, put across into the box, found the head of Kai Flanagan. It did beat the goalkeeper in goal, Laurie Walker. However, referee Daniel Middleton said that there was a foul in the box during the cross, so the goal was disallowed and a free kick was given to Aldershot. But Barnet have definitely got control of this game, and there's a shot here for Fungup, and he just drags it wide of the post. But as I was saying, Barnet are definitely in control of this game, and the score currently sits at 1-0, but we could be looking at 4 or 5 here if Aldershot don't start waking up.
Thank you, Ryan. Sounds like they need VAR down at the Hive at the moment, as Manchester United have possession inside their own penalty area. So, disallowed goal down at Barnet, but they're still leading by a goal to 0. As Lindelof now heads it down, and McTominay having to turn away and has to use his goalkeeper again. We're just 26 minutes into the first half here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I should tell you that we've had a terrific game of football so far, but we've not yet had a goal to speak of yet in terms of yet. But I've got to also tell you there's a nice little statistic I'm proud of at the moment. I've done in 5 months, 6 months of doing live games for the TC Hub. I can't recall in live football terms actually doing a live 0-0 draw on a TC Hub game. Let's hope that is not the case today, folks. I really do hope that is not the case. I hope I haven't put the mockers on it a bit, but I think there will be goals in this game. That is for sure. So here comes Son Heung-min. He's timed his run. It seems to be very well. The Wiseman's kept his flag down on the far side. Royals in support inside the area. Keeps his feet well. Nearly went down there. Son Heung-min gets the ball and he yields a corner on the far side. And Tottenham now starting to take a firm grip on this game. And, well, I thought there was an incident there at Barnet. It's just my 2 colleagues talking about Stevenage again. I won't mention what happened to them this afternoon. Mike Arneman would crucify me for it. I promise not to say anything about what happened down at Stevenage today. Anyway, corner kick to Tottenham here in the Premier League as the ball comes into the area for a corner goal. Is it? They claim a goal spot now. Tottenham have got in front. It will be checked on VAR, but it's 1-0 Spurs, and it's Christian Romero's got the last touch. The flag is up on the far side, offside, but it will be checked. And in fact, the goal has been disallowed. The referee's going across to the linesman. Now, was there a flag up? And now, was he offside? Oh, he's offside. It's Dyer's flick, and yes, he's off. I think he's off by 2 miles, to be quite honest with you. He's clearly a yard off. It's close, but it's the right call from the linesman. No goal. No goal it is. And, well, we've had a bit of drama here at Tottenham. But the goal does not count. The ball's gone in the net, but the linesman on the far side, Simon Long, has disallowed it. And I think that's the right decision. Good decision by Mr. Long. Manchester United still in the game at 0-0. How, you would not ask, but certainly if the first 15 minutes belong to Manchester United, there's certainly the last 10 minutes or so have certainly, apart from the Cavani chance, you would have to say the honours have to go to Tottenham Hotspur. It's been a very, very closely fought encounter where both sides have had dominant spells in the game. But yet, no breakthrough. We thought we had one there through Christian Romero, but he was offside, and he was offside by about a yard, maybe, possibly less than that. But it was offside. That was the crucial factor. as Cavani plays in Wan-Bissaka, who cuts in field from the right-hand channel, but Eric Dyer quickly back there. His mid-central defence is own now in this last season or two at Tottenham. Tottenham ball. Harry Kane pirouettes away, and he wasn't. No, I think he scored about 5 yards in taking that throw, but the referee allowed it there to go on. And Shaw has it now for Manchester United. And we've got a possible goal at Barnet. We'll just check. We'll check with Ryan as soon as we get a breaking play, because we've got Manchester United attacking here at the moment with Varane now as he looks to pick a ball out. As soon as the ball goes out of play, we'll cross straight to Ryan Francis at Barnet. As the ball comes into Fernandes, edge of the area. Wan-Bissaka here. There's men queuing in there, and they fall back beyond everybody, including Ronaldo, who has used his legs to keep that in really well on that far side. Ronaldo sticks a cross in, headed out for a throw-in for Manchester United. We're just going to stick with this because, in fact, let's just quickly go over to Ryan for a quick update.
Aldershot thought they had equalised in this game with their very first attack of the game after 40 minutes. However, referee Daniel Middleton and his assistant on this near side, Aidan Quelch, have broken the hearts of Aldershot fans by disallowing the goal for an offside. And on review, I think VAR possibly could have turned this one round, because it looks very, very close, but possibly the player was just offside. So the score does remain 1-0 to Barnet, but it could have possibly have been 1-1. So close.
So close indeed. Well, it looks like controversy down at the Hive. We've had some drama here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in our live commentary match, the main event, but yet no goals. Goal disallowed, rightfully disallowed, when Romero thought he'd scored, but he was at least a yard, maybe two offside. Nothing happened whilst we were away with Ryan. But everything happening at Barnet at the moment. Just gone a little bit quiet after that disallowed goal here at Tottenham. But bear with us, folks. We'll try and bring you a goal live on the TCL in our commentary match. With me, JB, John Stutter. Mike Harneman is in the host chair today. Ronaldo has gone crashing down under an hefty challenge from Eric Dyer. Ronaldo just fearing it a little bit there. And we've got Ryan, of course, down at Barnet. 1-0 to Barnet. And the Aldershot fans will not be happy. In fact, that's if you are familiar with the Trevor Sports YouTube channel, the guy who runs it, his real name is actually Matt. He's a big Tottenham Hotspur. He's a big Aldershot town fan. So he will not be happy at that, and I'm sure he'll be watching in his home down there. He's a big Aldershot fan, as I say, and he will not be happy about that. What we'll give Trevor Sports a mention. Don't forget to check out the video that premiered last night on their channel. I'm on it. Euro 96. Anyway, in the real life, as Fred strikes the shot from all the 35 yards, and it needed Lloris's 6'2" to get across and flick that one behind for a corner. And that was swerving and dipping and doing all sorts. Terrific left-footed drive there. And the goalkeeper did well. Got a good couple of gloves on it. And turned it away. Good save from the Tottenham captain. Tottenham have had 3 quarters. This is United's first. Here at the new White Hart Lane. Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0 in the Premier League. Live on the TC Hub as the corner comes in. It comes out to Bruno Fernandes. He chips the ball into the penalty area, and the ball out of play for a goal kick for Manchester United. For Tottenham Hotspur, I should say. Oh, dear me. Oh, I think my head's gone dizzy because Burnley have won today. Anyway, it's a goal kick to Tottenham and not to Manchester United. Oh, well, even the best of us make hiccups now and then as we see that effort again from Manchester United go wide. Maguire had a few words to say to the referee. Been an incident-packed 33.5 minutes so far, but as I say, no goals have been scored. We have had the ball in the back of the Manchester United net, obviously, but it's been disallowed for offside, quite rightly so. And full marks to Simon Long on the far side. The attempts, we've had 5 apiece, but we've had 1 on target for Manchester United, and that was the effort you just heard me call a few moments ago from Fred. But the efforts have been close, but they've not really been on target. That's been the crucial factor, really, when you analyse the game from start to 34th minute. It's been one of those occasions where one goal could be important, and his Son onside. He looks as if he is onside. It's Son Heung-min with a chance for the first goal. What a challenge that is! What a challenge by Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He looked for all the while that Son Heung-min was going to score the goal for Tottenham. Was he onside? It's debatable whether he was or not. But you've got to give the honours to Wan-Bissaka here. How he makes up the yards, well, only he will know. But Son Heung-min in them positions 99 times out of 100 normally buries those. Hits it right-footed, but what a block. You've got to say by Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And we'll be checking in a few moments for half-time update at Barnet, because it's coming up towards half-time there at the Hive. And we will check in there in about a couple of minutes' time. McTominay now for Manchester United. We've got 10 minutes to go in the first half here. And of course, when it's half-time in our featured match, of course, Mike will be keeping you up to date with all the other scores, and as well, I'll be taking a breather. Mike Harneman will keep you up to date with all the latest Premier League scores, and I'm sure he'll be crowing about Arsenal's victory at Leicester today. Don't want to say that too wildly in these parts. And we'll be checking in about 25 or so seconds from now. But as soon as we get a word that it's half-time in the Barnet game, we will go across to a quick half-time report from Ryan Francis. And of course, during half-time, the second half will kick off, and Mike will get an early progress report before we have regular updates throughout the second half, and a full-time one as well. But we'll stick for a moment or two with Tottenham, who are in possession here with Son Heung-min on halfway. Can one of these two sides make a substantial breakthrough here in this first half at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium? We've had a go in our other feature game at Barnet, the update game at Barnet. This is number 29 now, Oliver Skip. Here's Skip again. Just knocking it back there. There's a Tottenham player going tumbling. Son then tries to knock the ball round the corner. And in fact, a Tottenham Hotspur free kick has been given. We're just going to see this free kick and then cross to Ryan in a second. McTominay, the guilty party. Let's have a look at the replay once again. Yeah, it just goes in behind him there. And a free kick there. We'll cross to Ryan in about in a few moments' time. We're just going to see this free kick, this set piece here from Tottenham, this next attack. And as soon as the ball goes out of play, we'll be straight over with Ryan for a quick half-time update from the Hive Stadium, and then he can go and get a little bit of refreshment, I suppose. Get a cup of tea or a Bovril or whatever half-time tipple is these days. As the ball is played down the line, Wan-Bissaka should defend this very well, and he does. Keeps the ball in play as well. And here comes McTominay. He goes down. Referee again plays advantage. Bruno Fernandes has possession. We will come to Ryan in a second. Bear with us. Barnet and Aldershot fans. We will be going for a half-time update. It's just that, this game is flowing from end to end a little bit. Please bear with us. As soon as the ball goes into touch, we'll be right there at the Hive. Here's McTominay. Ball across now to Wan-Bissaka, who made that goal-saving challenge to deny Son a few moments ago. McTominay gets the ball out towards the far side. Shaw is lurking. Lucas Moura is there. Shaw again. Around the defender. Gets the cross in. Turn back. Wan-Bissaka on the edge of the penalty area. Gets the shot in. Ronaldo shoots. A little bit casually perhaps, but it was charged down. Fernandes on the edge. Shoots the ball forward. And a little bit of desperado defending here from Tottenham Hotspur. Here's Fernandes chipped in there. Ronaldo on the volley! Oh, he's chucking superbly long! Cristiano Ronaldo! The 36-year-old has scored a majestic goal! A volley of pure genius! at the right-hand post after a terrific crossing from the left-hand side. And Manchester United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, a man who's been so much under fire, have taken the lead after 39 minutes at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And it was all down to really good play there. Persistence was futile, really. Fernandes with the ball in, Ronaldo one side, and on the right foot, volleys it into the left corner to give Lloris no chance. It's Tottenham Hotspur 0, Manchester United 1. Now we can go across to the high for a half-time report on Barnet against Aldershot with Ryan Francis. 1-0 here at the moment.
And it remains 1-0 here at the Hive as well between Barnet and Aldershot. But Aldershot fans will not be happy with referee Daniel Middleton. At first, he disallowed a goal for offside, and then just before the half-time whistle, he stopped a Aldershot counter-attack as Mason Clark for Barnet went down with an injury to his thigh, which the Aldershot fans that are here at the Hive today made their opinions very clear towards the official. However, Barnet should be 2 or 3 goals up in this game as they have wasted a few opportunities. The first opportunity coming through Marriott, who had a brilliant opportunity where he could have put it into the right-hand side of the goal, but instead put it the wrong side of the post. And then just before the halftime whistle, with the last attack of the game, Kai Flanagan could have possibly doubled his account for this game with a header from around 6 yards out, but unfortunately it was straight down the neck of the Aldershot goalkeeper, Laurie Walker. Aldershot definitely need to change up their tactics in this game, because if they do not, they could be in for a very long second half here, as the first half they only saw 17% possession of the ball, so they were definitely not at the races in the first half, and Barnet could have possibly have capitalised more, but definitely deserved their 1-0 lead at the halftime break. JB, I definitely think you've got a very interesting couple of minutes left before halftime in your game.
Not half. Thank you, Ryan. Yes, we have now. We've just seen one of the goals of the season, of course, before we joined you, Ryan, from Cristiano Ronaldo. And if you haven't seen it, if you've not seen it, watch Match of the Day tonight, because I'm telling you, it's something rather spectacular. And when I say pure genius, I use the line when I see a spectacular goal. And boy, have I seen a spectacular goal. If you haven't seen it, you're listening to the commentary, you've not got a television set on, I urge you tonight to watch BBC One and watch Match of the Day at 10:30, because I'm telling you, that goal from Ronaldo was just simply pure genius. And I don't use that term, I use that term quite a lot when commentating. Now, Ronaldo's involved again in another incident here. We're inside the last 3 minutes now, coming up towards the last 3 minutes, and it was Ronaldo clutching there, and he's actually hit. Knocked Romero to the ground. I'm not sure whether that. Well, I mean, I'm amazed he's not got a booking for that. And if it had been a lesser player who'd done that, then I think the referee would have took more stronger action. Because it's Ronaldo, he gets away with it. It's not. It's a yellow card for me for that. Ronaldo should be on a booking. Remember, he should have been sent off last week. If you remember when he kicked out at Curtis Jones towards the end of the first half at Old Trafford, when Manchester United were in massive bother. No bother for them so far. And Ronaldo, let's look at the good side of him. He's absolutely, Mike. I agree. Mike just reiterating the point there on the in my headphones at the moment. He's about to come on mic in about a few moments' time. So we've got 2 minutes to go plus stoppage time here. Half time of the Barnet game, as you know, it's 1-0 to Barnet, 1-0 here to Manchester United. But Tottenham have played well enough in some quarters to merit a bit more than what they've got. Here's Emerson Royal, who's a super little player. Very impressed with him, and a good skill there into the penalty area. Shot comes in and over the top from Lo Celso. Good effort with the left foot. Just couldn't keep the shot down, but it was all down. The chance was created by some good persistent play there from Emerson Royal, who cut the ball back on the edge of the penalty area, and I think it might have hit Rafael Varane, in fact. And a corner, I think, has been awarded to Tottenham Hotspur, I think. No, has it? No, I think it's a goal kick, in fact, to Manchester United. It didn't deflect to Varane. But, Ronaldo, if you see that goal from Ronaldo on Match of the Day tonight, you are going to be in for a right treat. Let me tell you that. If you haven't got any game, if you haven't got the game on, you're in for a right treat. 12% the win probability now for Spurs, 25 the draw, 63% Manchester United. But as I say, there's still a long way to go in this game. We've still got another half and a little bit of football to play, and anything can happen in football. Just ask Liverpool and Brighton, because it looked as if Liverpool were going to get a home banker, but they didn't count on Brighton. And with the way United have been defending, Tottenham will still find a little bit of encouragement from somewhere. Corner kick to Tottenham. And they won't give up the fight themselves, so they're running down that left-hand side and yielding this corner. Means diddly squat that. Although Mike reckons it's another great result for the Gunners. Yeah, possibly will be, although it's your rival. Yeah, it will be, actually. Although it's two of your rivals in action here, Mike. Here comes the corner. Lo Celso in there. Oh, and a header came in from 6 yards. And I'm just trying to see who it was there. It's a massive crowd scene in there. Let's see who it was. Was it Ben Davies? It was the Welshman. Just getting underneath his header there from 6 yards. And we're now into stoppage time. We've only got the 1 minute. We haven't really had too much in the way of massive injuries, to be quite honest with you. So Mike will be standing by to bring you a halftime sequence. I'll be off down to get myself a nice cup of tea. Ryan is already having his cup of halftime tea or his Bovril or whatever tipple he's enjoying at the moment. I might ask him that when we cross over to a report later on in the second half. What was his halftime tipple? I wonder if he's a pie man like me, like a good meat and tatey. Right, we played the 1 minute at the end of the first half. United on the attack. A good defending there by Romero. And the referee blows for half-time. And things... Well, the wheels are back on course. The wheels on all his bus are turning in the right direction. Cristiano Ronaldo's goal on 39 minutes. A sumptuous volley at the far right-hand post. After a terrific cross from the left from Bruno Fernandes. Has devised the teams in what's been a real seesaw battle. Spurs also had a goal from Romero chalked off quite rightly for offside. But at the moment, Manchester United, who are winless in 4 before tonight, at this halfway stage, are arresting that slide. They could move up as far as 5th place in the table if things go their way, and they are going their way. A 39th minute goal from Ronaldo now heightens the pressure on Nuno Santo, who need a big halftime team talk. If you haven't seen the goal, watch Match of the Day tonight. But at the moment, I'm going to take a quick break, get a halftime cuppa, and rejoin us for the second half. But now it's back to the studio and to Mike.
Thank you, JB. Thank you, Ryan, for your updates on the Barnet game against Aldershot as well. Both very great first half, very, very interesting first half by the sound of things. Plenty of goal-mouth action in both games. And what a goal from Cristiano Ronaldo as well, as JB mentioned and rightfully mentioned as well during the commentary. It was a fantastic goal from the Portuguese sort of star man, as they like to refer to him as, I suppose, that the world-class man Ronaldo there. And is he going to save Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job for another week as well? So it's quite an interesting sort of subplot, that one. In regards to Premier League action today, of course, JB's rightly mentioned the early game between Leicester City and Arsenal. And if you want to watch Match of the Day for Cristiano Ronaldo's goal, you also want to watch it for a certain save made by Arsenal shot stopper Aaron Ramsdale as well to deny James Maddison from the free kick. That was a fantastic bit of play there in the opening game. Of course, Gabriel on the score sheet for Arsenal, and the Croydon De Bruyne, as Arsenal fans like to refer to him as, Kevin De Bruyne, of course, being Manchester City, but Emile Smith-Rowe, the Croydon De Bruyne, getting Arsenal second today in that fantastic 2-0 victory there. As for Burnley, JB rightly mentioned, they were victorious by 3-1 over Brentford, with Wood, Loughton and Maxwell Cornet getting himself on the score sheet again after his couple of goals he got last week, with Godos getting a late consolation for Brentford. Liverpool and Brighton, 2-2 that one. That was a fantastic game of football. Liverpool went 1-0 up early on through Jordan Henderson and doubled that through Sadio Mane as well. And then Mbwepu and Trossard giving the Seagulls a point in that game. As for Brighton's rivals, Crystal Palace, they're the surprise result of the day, going to the Etihad and getting a 2-0 victory over Manchester City, with Zaha scoring early on. Laporte getting himself sent off for the host as well, just on half-time. And then Conor Gallagher getting the second and the deciding goal for Palace. So that was a brilliant result for them. Chelsea continued their great form for the season as well, winning by 3-0 over newly taken over Newcastle. Still going wrong for them on the pitch. Still early days in regards to their takeover, and of course they can't spend yet and things like that. But Reece James's brace and Jorginho's penalty were the difference in that game this afternoon. As for the game between Watford and Southampton, that was a victory for the away side by 1-0, with Adams getting the goal there. Che Adams, of course. And in this game, as has just been brought to you, it was Manchester United's 1-0 up at Tottenham there, thanks to that stupendous goal, really, from Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm going to delve into the Championship and some of the other leagues for you as well. So if you just hang tight there for a second or two. But the Premier League table, as things stand, sees Chelsea leading the way, just ahead of Liverpool and Manchester City there as well. West Ham are the side in fourth. Arsenal, the side that have risen the highest, with the 5-place jump from 10th to 5th as things stand. Then it's Brighton, Tottenham and Man United all in and around there as well. But of course, Man United, with this result, could go up to 5th and put the pressure more on Nuno Espirito Santo rather than their manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think it might even be 5th now. Let's have a look if it's updated yet. Doesn't look like it has. But with the way things are, Manchester United might even be deciding 5th right now, and Arsenal might even drop down to 6th. But at the bottom end of the table, Norwich remain bottom, Newcastle second bottom, and Burnley, with that victory, are out of the drop zone as well. And Leeds, who are yet to play this weekend, they play in the 2 o'clock game tomorrow, of course, against Norwich City. They are the side that are in the last of the 3 relegation places for the moment, anyway. And of course, there's been lots of football all throughout today from the respective divisions. In the Championship, it was a victory for Fulham. They won 3-0 over West Brom. Bristol City beat Barnsley by 2-1. The slump continues for Derby. They were beaten 2-1 at home to Blackburn. Huddersfield were beat Millwall by a goal to nil. Coventry went to Hull and won that one by a goal to nil as well. Middlesbrough lost at home to Birmingham by 2-0. Preston, who of course who were beaten by Liverpool in midweek in the Carabao Cup, and again they put in a good fight in, actually, a game that I covered. Won 2-0 over Luton Town and got themselves back to winning ways there. Blackpool went to Sheffield United and won 1-0. Stoke City and Cardiff played out an absolute thriller in this game over there. That was 3-3 this afternoon. And Swansea won 3-0 over Peterborough. The game between Reading and AFC Bournemouth kicks off in around about an hour and a half time. And Bournemouth are the side top of the league in that division at the moment. Just a couple of points, I believe, ahead of Fulham. We'll bring you up to date with what's going on with the Barnet game as well. The second half's just started over there, so I'll bring Ryan in shortly. But we're going to jump into League One as things stand as well now, and give you a little bit of an update in League One, what's happened in there, and also in League Two as well, because Plymouth played today. Amongst some of the sides, Cambridge United were victorious over AFC Wimbledon by 1-0. Cheltenham won 4-0 over Doncaster. It was 2-2, the old Desmond between Cheltenham and Sheffield Wednesday. MK Dons went to Crewe and won 4-1. It's not great news when you're a Stevenage follower, especially on the back of the result for them this afternoon. And it's the FA Cup for MK Dons and Stevenage this time next weekend. Fleetwood and Wickham also played out an absolute cracker as well. That was 3-3. It was less so at Gillingham. That was 0-0 with Accrington Stanley. Lincoln and Shrewsbury finished 1-1. Oxford 3, Morecambe 1. Plymouth beat Ipswich by 2-1. It was a win for Portsmouth against Bolton by 1-0. Rotherham won 5-1 over Sunderland. So Sunderland, who of course drew Arsenal today in the Carabao Cup. And their manager said he wanted to face off with either Arsenal or Tottenham away from home. Well, you know, you've got to focus on the league first and foremost, and they weren't able to do that against Rotherham today because they were well and truly outclassed in that 5-1 result there. As for Wigan and Burton, that was a 2-0 home victory as well. And Plymouth remain top of the division in that one, with Wigan just behind by a couple of points. And Crewe, Doncaster, Fleetwood and Shrewsbury make up the bottom four, with Cheltenham just ahead of them, I should say. And their result today was a very good one by the sound of things, I think, as well, which I think helped them out with that relegation zone. We'll go into League Two, and then I'll come over to Ryan as well. He's going to get who can give us some updates in regards to the Barnet game against Aldershot and how things have started in the second half over there. But in regards to League Two, it was a victory for Northampton Town. They won 3-0 over Carlisle. Bradford and Forest Green played out a 1-1 draw. Colchester won 2-1 against Scunthorpe. Port Vale won 4-1 away at Crawley. Great victory for them. Bristol Rovers beat Harrogate by 1-0. It was a 5-0 victory for Leyton Orient against Hartlepool. A 2-0 victory for Mansfield over Tranmere. A 5-0 victory for Newport County at home to Stevenage. Struggling Stevenage, of course, as well. Oldham 1, Swindon Town 3. Salford 1, Exeter 2. Sutton 0, Walsall 1. And Rochdale 1, 2-1 away at Barrow. So that was the updates there. And the latest scores are, not latest scores, sorry, I should say, the full times, I should say, from today in League Two and all the way through from the Premier League to League Two there. Forest Green top in the league. Forest Green 3 points ahead of Port Vale. Northampton just behind. Then at the bottom end, it's Scunthorpe, Carlisle in the bottom two, with Oldham just outside the relegation places, on goal difference. So come over to you first of all, Ryan, anyway, and you can let us know how things have started for Barnet and Aldershot. Is it more of the same? Is it still quite an interesting and entertaining game over there?
So Barnet, well, in the opening 4 minutes of this second half, Barnet have started the same way that they ended the last 45 minutes, and they have been in the very attacking phases. And so far, Aldershot have not had a chance to get over the halfway line. There has been a golden opportunity for Barnet in the second half that came through Sam Beard with a cross into the box, and Marriott just put it over the crossbar. So we could definitely be seeing some more attacking threats from Barnet. As I said, Aldershot are struggling to get over the halfway line. There was no substitutions made at half time, and as I can see so far, there hasn't even been any changes tactically either. So Aldershot could definitely be in for a long half if they don't start making changes pretty much as soon as possible.
Okay, thanks for that. And I will run everybody through the conference or the National League results from today as well. So anyone that wants to hear any results from the National League, we'll keep you across all of those now. It was Boreham Wood 1, Southend 0. Of course, Southend slumped into the conference last season, and they've really continued on that slump as well. So I might have to get your thoughts on that, Ryan, the fact that you're covering a National League game on Southend in a moment, maybe. Bromley 0, Halifax 0 was a full-time score. Dagenham 2, Chesterfield 2, Dover 2, Stockport 5, Eastleigh 1, Maidenhead 0, Grimsby 0, Notts County 1, Solihull and Yeovil played out a 0-0 draw. Weymouth beat Kings Lynn by 1-0 It was a victory for Woking over Altrincham. They won that one 3-2. And Wrexham won, Torquay won. Also, as mentioned there, it's currently Barnet 1, Aldershot 0. And I will actually come over to you on that one, Ryan, as well. You just mentioned that you do, support Southend yourself as well. So Southend relegated last season, could happen again as well. That's a realistic sort of problem for Southend, isn't it? As well, something they've really got to look at.
It's definitely something that they've got to look at. I mean, in the last season, it was a season to forget for Southend fans, definitely. I mean, we had the issue with having an inexperienced manager into Football League. And this season, obviously, we've had Phil Brown that brought us in from the back end of last season into this season. He's not been able to turn our fortunes around. And unfortunately, I think that whoever ends up getting the manager job on a permanent basis, obviously at the moment, Kevin Maher is in as interim manager, and he's going to be seeing out the foreseeable future of the club. But Southend definitely could be looking at coming out of the footballing pyramid, really, because there doesn't seem to be any changes being made at the club. There doesn't seem to be many tactical changes, and unfortunately for the players, they just don't seem to have the desire that they had, say, 5 years ago when they were playing in League One against the likes of Leyton Orient and had championship football in their sights. So it is really disheartening to see that, especially as a Southend fan.
Cheers for that, Ryan. And we will keep across the Barnet and Aldershot game, still remaining 1-0 to Barnet. The teams are back out at Tottenham now as well. So we're going to hand you back over to JB for the second half. But first of all, JB, that Cristiano Ronaldo goal, something else, wasn't it? It was out of this world, as they say.
Well, I said it was pure genius, Mike, I have to say. And I don't use that phrase very often in commentary unless something spectacular happens. But I tell you what, it was some goal. And I think, if anyone, and thank you very much, as we start the second half, all the players are all present and correct. And away we go in the second half. As Mike says, very difficult. I feel sorry for poor old Ryan, Southend fan. It's not easy when you see your team relegated from the Football League and then they're struggling in the conference at the moment. So I hope Southend pick up form. They've got Stan Collymore in as a director of football, I believe, at Roots Hall. So hopefully things will start picking up. Here's Ronaldo at the start of the second half, bursting inside the Spurs area. He's drawn out to the left-hand side, plays the ball to Shaw. Shaw now turns. We will be checking up at the Hive in a few minutes' time for a progress report from that game. Remember, 1-0 to Barnet is the latest score there. And that is the case here. And it keeps up my brilliant record of not having a 0-0 in any live game I've done for the commentary over a 6-month period, stretching back to the European Championships in the summer. I can't remember covering a 0-0 in that European Championships as a commentator anyway. As the ball played in there towards Cavani, just hooked away there by Emerson Royale over to the far side. It was a good ball that Cavani had got a touch on inside the penalty area. That might have been 2-0, Here's the ball played back. That was a poor kick out there by De Gea, straight to Lucas Moura, who scored in the wake. The shot comes in and it's right-footed by Son just inside the D and behind for a goal kick to Manchester United. A rueful smile from Son Heung-min, the South Korean. And that goal kick was not punished. Really poor goal kick, really poor clearance, I should say, from David De Gea. But it still remains 1-0 to Manchester United. This was always going to be a tricky test for United, considering they're not wanting 4. That stretches back to a 2-1 defeat to Villa. Of course, that also includes a League Cup exit as well to domestically, includes a League Cup exit, which we covered on the TC Hub, to West Ham United. Ball play through. Ronaldo is onside and he's in for a kill and he scored again. It's 2-0 Ronaldo, but the flag is up. Oh, is it? No, it's Gibbon. I thought it is Gibbon. Well, everybody's confusing me. The scoreboard said 2-0 and then Ronaldo wheeled away. And in the end, although Simon came to the right decision, I mean, it's not been given, by the way. It still remains 1-0. Great finish, by the way. But this is an annoyance for commentators, players and supporters alike, that these silly offside rules are still being implemented I am going to keep criticising it until the cows come home. If he's offside, put the flag up, give a free kick, get on with the game. Don't allow play to carry on for another 10 seconds, and then put the flag up. I find that rule absolutely and utterly ridiculous. Really does boggle the mind. Whilst I calm down from that little passage of play, here comes, let's bring you an update from Barnet with Ryan.
So, we've had 7 red cards in the conference today, or the National League today, and I think we have just possibly seen a contender for the 8th red card, and possibly the worst challenge in footballing history there by Barnet's player, none other than Mason Clark. He has gone in. I don't even know how he's escaped with a yellow card. He's a very, very lucky man, but he's gone in on Josh Venkins, 2-footed off the ground. Referee Middleton has had an absolute disgrace there, but the free kick has been given. Mason Clark has got away with a yellow card, and Vennings has now gone off and is being replaced by Mohamed Salah, not Mohamed Salah, Mohamed Salah. And the free kick has been taken by Aldershot here. It's gone into the box, and the header has beaten the goalkeeper. So Aldershot have equalised, but it was none other than Mohamed Salah that has managed to get his team back on level terms here at the Hive and make it Barnet 1, Aldershot 1. This game has definitely gone up in the levels here. So we could be in for an interesting last 25 minutes.
Absolutely. It looks as if it has caught fire, the controversy and an equaliser. So 1-1 then down at the Hive. And we'll be keeping regular updates with our friend Ryan Francis down there. Meanwhile, Manchester United have won a free kick. Well, it's all happening at the Hive. It's starting to happen here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in our live commentary game. 5:30 kickoff. We kicked off, and it's now 6:45 it's coming up towards 7:20 this evening on a Saturday night, a very cold Saturday night. Remember, it's the last day of British summertime before the clocks go back, and then it will be definitely get a winter feel as from tomorrow onwards. So make sure you've got your central heating and your cup of teas warm and everything else. I forgot to ask, what did Ryan have for his halftime cuppa? I have got a nice cup of tea on the go here at the moment, whilst I'm commentating. Keep the old vocal cords lubricated, I should say, as Manchester United have possession. 50 minutes gone, 5 gone in the second half. If you've just joined us, where have you been? You've missed it all. You've missed 2 goal updates from the Hive. You've missed a potential red card which could have been given down there for Barnet, and you've missed a world-class Ronaldo goal, and he almost had a second, but it was disallowed for offside. Now, Spurs come forward. Is Son onside this time? Well, you can never tell with these officials, to be quite honest with you. Son didn't get the ball anyway. Lo Celso's pass probably didn't have much of an effect on it, but I tell you what, we've had an interesting second half, and he was onside actually. I wonder if would have been playing him on if the ball had got through to Son. I know it would have still needed a lot of work to do to pop away the equaliser. Spurs do look a threat, but they just haven't been able to apply the finishing touch. Cavani has it on the far side for Manchester United. And at the moment, Ronaldo in that final third looks an absolute menace, really, to Tottenham. And here he is now on the ball. Get it out to Fred, who came close himself, forced a good save from Hugo Lloris. It's Tottenham Hotspur 0, Manchester United 1 on the TC Hub 2, JB Sports, JDAC Football and Storm FN. That's Mike Harneman's very own channel. And we have a game with a vengeance. We're also on Twitter and Twitch. We're not on Periscope anymore. Of course, if you haven't, there's no point. Well, if you haven't checked out the predictions to see how you fared against me and Russ, hopefully I can beat my score of 3, and sort of take it to a decider. We've decided if I beat Russ's score, then we go to a decider near the end of the season. But obviously we'll have to play all the games. Of course, that includes the Monday night match between Wolves and Everton, of course. What a game that promises to be. Molineux. There's Shaw now for Manchester United, getting the ball forward, gets a little deflection and out of play. So Tottenham Hotspur are bringing on a substitute. And it's Lucas Moura, the match winner against Burnley on Wednesday. He's coming off. Well, they say Divock Origi's goal in midweek against Liverpool is special, and I'm sure Mike, who commented on it was a special goal, but I think Ronaldo today has just topped that, really. And what I mean by Origi's goal is that he scored a gem of a goal against Preston in the Cup, which saw Liverpool through to a quarter-final. But I think Ronaldo's just topped it. And we've got Bergwijn on now for Tottenham, replacing, as I say, Lucas Moura. So Tottenham making a change. Here's Royal. Here's Lo Celso, who's gone just to the right-hand side. Giovanni Lo Celso now. Can he get the cross in? Deflects off Maguire. It will be a corner for Spurs. Now, can they try and force the issue, force an equaliser from some description and try and get back into this game? They will try their best to try and do that. And Son is going to take it far near side. Can Spurs find the oracle and get the equaliser and get themselves back into this football match? They trail 1-0. Ronaldo's goal 5 minutes from half time is the difference. Son's corner headed away. Comes to Emerson Royal. Son is in support on the right-hand side. Stays on side. Now uses Royal, who gets the crossing. It's a poor cross from Royal. Didn't really reach the second man. Højbjerg takes it into midway inside the Manchester United half. Now Spurs looking for something. They need to find Harry Kane, who's been, again, non-existent. And questions have to be asked is where has he been in most of these games for Tottenham? He wasn't really anywhere for Spurs. Offside given again. And they've been caught offside far too much, I think, Spurs. And easy decision there for Harry Leonard on the near side to make. And, well, yeah, just offside there. It's beyond the 18-yard line, which made it a bit easier for us to judge where he was offside. It was Ben Davies, actually, who was caught offside by Mr. Leonard, the linesman on the near side. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Still 1-0 to Manchester United. Cristiano Ronaldo's goal and 39 minutes the difference. We will be checking up with Ryan Francis in a few minutes' time with a progress reporting again. That's been, well, from what I've seen, what I've heard of it so far from his updates, it's been quite the all-action match. And people say that conference non-league football isn't great entertainment. Well, I think Brian and Matt have just banished all those fears, banished all those theories in all his reports this evening on the Barnet game. Here's Shaw now for United. Good challenge again by Royal, and the ball out of play for a throw to Manchester United, I think, is it? Yes, on the near side, in line with the 18-yard box of Tottenham. 1-0 to Manchester United, as I say. Shaw will take the throw. Bergwijn just sizing up to him as well as Fred gets the ball. He was shoved to the ground, but the throw has been given again to Manchester United. Shaw again to take it. Almost from the same spot as he took the last throw in. Again, near side. Almost in line this time with the penalty spot. The Tottenham penalty spot. Or the penalty spot they're defending, I should say. But Spurs have got possession back. The throw-in wasn't penetrating enough. Head of one there by Varane, who's got the gloves on now, incidentally. Bit of a softie there, isn't he? You know, wear gloves in this weather. It's still British summertime, Raphael. What are you doing with gloves on? Wait until December. 57 minutes gone on the TC Hub, and it's Tottenham Hotspur 0, Manchester United 1 in our live Premier League alternate commentary. And it's JB John Stuttard in the commentary box. We'll be getting a live update from Ryan Francis in a few seconds. His game is now 67 minutes in, and we'll be crossing to him very shortly. As soon as there's a breaking play in this game that we're watching here. Here's Højbjerg now into the area. Back to Højbjerg inside the box. Good challenge by Maguire. Ball out of play. We'll stay with it because it's a Tottenham throw and deep inside Tottenham territory. Son Heung-min has it, hugging the right touchline. uses Lo Celso. Royal back to Son again on the right. Son's crossing again on the right-hand side, and again it evades everyone inside the penalty area. Let's get an update now. They've played about 67 minutes at the Hive. Let's check in at the halfway stage of the second half there with Brian Francis.
So, yeah, 67 minutes are on the clock, and Aldershot are definitely starting to turn the tide in this game. Barnet are struggling to get out of their own box, and since the substitution was made where Mohamed Salah was brought onto the pitch, he has definitely changed this game for Aldershot and is actually the architect for most of their chances. Barnet have had one half chance that has come through Adam Marriott, but nothing too testing for the goalkeeper. Mason Clark, as I said, is a very lucky boy to still be on the pitch, and that doesn't seem to have deterred him from going to ground, as he has made two very questionable challenges. So we could possibly be seeing a red card in this game very soon if Mason Clark is not substituted at all soon. And as for referee Middleton, he is still not going to be a very favourable man in Aldershot, as a lot of his decisions in this second half have been exactly like the first half, going against the away side, and the away fans here in full voice are making their opinions heard about that certain topic. But the score does remain 1-1 between Barnet and Aldershot.
Looks like the referee is not very popular with the residents of Aldershot by the sounds of it there, Ryan. And welcome back to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Nothing significant happened while we were with Ryan at the Hive. But here on the TCO and all the participating channels in association with Melon Streaming app, it's Tottenham Hotspur 0, Manchester United 1. If you just joined us, where have you been? You have missed a thrilling commentary, and you've missed some thrilling updates from the Panorama Conference. And as Barnet and Aldershot, let's say, are slugging it out at the moment in a terrific game down there, one apiece. But as Ryan said, the referee's not winning too many friends with the away team in that game. Anyway, here's Emerson Royal now in the big Premier League game of the day. As he runs towards the byline, gets the cross in. Spurs looking for this equalising goal. We'll be crossing to Ryan in another few minutes' time. If there's a goal there at the Hive, we will cross straight over. So don't worry, you won't miss any significant action in either game on the TC home. Throw to Tottenham, Son to take. Well, he's going to give it to Emerson Royal. Is he going to go long here? Manchester United anticipating the long one, was they? No, he's gone short. Royal, far side, tries to backheel it back to Song, I should say. And then the ball comes back to Eric Dyer inside the centre circle, still inside Manchester United's half. He finds Romero, who finds Lo Celso, who finds Son Heung-min. Emerson Royal is on the overlap on the right-hand side. Too deep across, I'm afraid, from Royal. It's a poor cross by him. Bergwijn isn't Usain Bolt. He can't keep that in on the far side, and that's going to be a Manchester United throw-in. Spurs have tried to work miracles in this second half, but nothing that Nuno's doing at the moment is coming off at the moment. And if you're a Tottenham fan, you must be fuming. 8 attempts each, but significantly United have had the 2 on target. One of them has been put away with great authority by Ronaldo. A terrific volley 5 minutes from half-time. He's proven the difference. He had another goal chalked off earlier on in the second half for an offside, which came to the right conclusion. I'm not trying to have a go at Simon Long, the official on that far side, but I've got to be perfectly frank with you. If he's offside, put the flag up. I hate that stupid ruling. I think David Ellery needs to have a look at that ruling and change it to the way it was. Keep the rule nice and simple. Here's Son Heung-min inside the area. Kane now trying to get involved. He's now taking a much deeper role. He's been nowhere in this game, Harry Kane. I have to be honest. It looks as if, and I don't want to upset any Tottenham fans listening here, but it looks as if to me, looking at him, and I certainly saw that in a lot of periods against Arsenal a few weeks ago when I last covered Spurs, it looks like his head has been turned by the Manchester City move. It really just seemed that way to me. I'm sure John Kane, our old colleague, will have a few wise words to say about that on social media a bit later on. But from an outsider looking in, Kane looks as if his head has been turned. And they've not really been in good form. Defeat to West Ham prior to that. They've got to place them again in the Carabao at home, and that is going to be a tricky task. Let me tell you, with West Ham in sparkling form at the moment. Harry is Mike. Sorry, we'll just come back to that because here's Cavani, and he will score this time. Edinson Cavani dinks it over the goalkeeper, and Manchester United this time will go 2 up, and the pressure now mounts on Nuno Espirito Santo. It was really shocking Tottenham defended, it's got to be said, and Manchester United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, well, he's going to have a bit more of a stress-free weekend, Ole. That is for sure. The wheels on Ole Sports are now turning nicely. Tottenham Hotspur 0, Manchester United 2 now, and it's the Uruguayan Edinson Cavani who scored. Just as we were talking about Harry Kane, it was a mistake really by Eric Dyer, which got Ronaldo in and got Fernandes in. Then Ronaldo finished it off, and then he played a lovely through ball to Cavani, and he looks it over Hugo Lloris, and nothing that the Tottenham Hotspur goalkeeper captain could do about that. And Manchester United now, with 25 minutes almost to go of this game here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, have got, surely now, barring accidents, but all 3 points. Let's check in on what's happening in that all-action game at Barnet in the conference with Ryan.
So we currently have a stoppage in play here as Aldershot had a brilliant free kick just on the edge of the area that was drilled in, but Aston Oxborough has managed to catch the ball, tried to play a quick kick from the resulting save, but that kick was blocked by the Aldershot striker in Mohamed Ndonji, and unfortunately Ndonji has gone down with an injury there from being kicked in the back there by Oxborough. It was not intentional, but unfortunately these things do happen in football. But Aldershot, again, still in control of this game. Barnet are starting to struggle, and the home fans are just starting to make their voices heard that they do not approve of this turn in the tide, and they want their team to just play that little bit more attacking in these closing 15 minutes, because Aldershot are getting closer and closer as the minutes tick closer to full time. And at the moment, if either team is going to nick this game, I can see the away team coming away with all 3 points, as the home team in Barnet just don't seem to be able to cope with the energy levels that Aldershot are supplying. So at the moment, the score remains 1-1, but we still have just under 15 minutes left, so anything could happen.
Indeed, anything could happen. We just saw a Tottenham free kick while you were away, which came to nothing, but, we saw Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a week ago, 6 days ago against Liverpool, looking a forlorn figure, but he doesn't look forlorn now down on that touchline. And Manchester United look as if, unless Tottenham come back, do a Wolverhampton Wanderers and come back in the grand manner, like Wolves did at Aston Villa, I should say, and come back in the grandest of manners and win 3-2, then I can't see United not ending their 4-game losing streak. Well, they haven't won in 4, but I think that's going to end today. Cavani's been penalised meanwhile, and Stuart Atwell, he hasn't had that much in the way of controversy as our man at Barnet our ref at Barnet's had to do. But it sounds like to me from that game that looks as if we're going to see was it Marcus Rashford there? Paul Pogba isn't in the team, incidentally. He's serving a suspension today for his sending off, by the way. But it's going to see Marcus Rashford on in a second. But at Barnet, it seems like the referee's not winning many faint friends at the moment. Tottenham Hotspur 0, Manchester United 2 at the moment here on the TC Hub. We're also on JDAC Football, JB Sports. Storm FM, and of course TCO2. And hope Russ is having a lovely time at the wedding, at his family wedding, of course. Russ Burning having a rare day off from commentary hub duty, and I think he deserves a little break, to Sarvi. And I hope he's enjoying himself and getting enjoying a few drinks as well into the bargain as well. You've got to at a wedding, haven't you? Anyway, Tottenham on the attack now, and also I should also tell you of a substitution I forgot to tell you. And Ndombele has replaced Oliver Skip. So Tottenham have made 2 substitutions now. Ronaldo trying to play the ball through towards Bruno Fernandes, but good challenge there by Romero. Got back there and finds Hugo Lloris. Tottenham Hotspur 0, Manchester United 2 at the moment at the Tottenham Hotspurs Stadium. Spurs season looks as if it's going to be another bad day at the office for Nuno Espirito Santo, who has had a lot to do. Hopefully we'll have women's football for you tomorrow as well. We've got we hope to have both semi-finals live for you on the women's game. Women's semi-finals, FA Cup. Of course, the final will be played in December at Wembley. Again, a week, and then in just over 2 weeks' time, we'll have comprehensive commentary, alternate commentary of the first round of the FA Cup starting on starting in 6 days' time on Friday night. And we'll take in some of the televised games. All of them are being played on terrestrial television. 1 on 2 on the BBC, 4 on ITV. So we'll look to delve into the great, good and grudgy, proper world of football, which is the first round of the FA Cup. And of course, a little bit of Premier League thrown in for good measure too, I would suggest. And we hope to have Brighton and Arsenal for you, but we'll have some more commentaries coming up. And of course, we'll have a busy next couple of months. Winter's always a busy time for football coverage, and the TCO will be no different. Plenty of Premier League and FA Cup action early round action to keep you entertained, and Champions League 2, European action as well, Carabao Cup quarterfinals, plenty of football from us to keep you entertained till Christmas. And of course, we'll have that busy Christmas and New Year period, and then the first weekend of January is always a great one, isn't it? The 3rd round of the FA Cup. Meanwhile, in the Premier League, Cristiano Ronaldo's game ends at 70 minutes. But he's left a great mark on the game here with a magnificent volley as the ball from Fernandes evaded Ben Davies, and he just took one touch to volley it, and he hit it on the volley, and it sent the Manchester United fans into raptures. It was a great goal. Ronaldo takes his coat, goes to the bench, gets a good handshake from all his colleagues sat on the bench, and Marcus Rashford now comes on. He was one of the casualties being axed from the starting lineup after that disaster at home to Liverpool last week. No disasters tonight for them at the moment. We're now into the last 10 minutes of Barnet. Still 1 apiece there, and it's last 20 minutes at Tottenham, where we'll cross over to Ryan Francis in just a second with another progress report. But here's Spurs on the attack. Let's just stick with this first. Can Spurs now try something a little bit different? It's nothing different than now. There's going to be a yellow card being brandished here to one of the Spurs players. The Manchester United player is down. We're going to see Dele Alli, the rude hullet, who's taking the rude hullet look. What can he produce? Whilst that substitution is being made, Lo Celso is being withdrawn. But Dele Alli, let's just cross quickly over to Ryan for a progress report with 10 minutes to go at Barnet.
And in the last 10 minutes, we could be in for a very interesting couple of minutes, as both of these teams are starting to just settle for the draw. Barnet haven't really had any attacking mentality in this second half at all. And Aldershot are just not quite having the attacking venom that they've had in the second half so far. So I think we could be looking at a 1-1 in this game here, as both teams just seem to be passing the ball around the midfield quite sloppily, giving away possession to each other. There's not really been any goal mouth action since you last came to me, and the fans are starting to actually exit the stadium already. So maybe they're going to make that 7-mile trip up to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium to meet the fans, who I would imagine will be quite unhappy as Man United are winning that game. So, yeah, at the moment, I just don't see anything changing in this game. So 1-1 is the score, and that's probably going to remain.
Well, we'll check in on you at full time, Ryan. Thank you for that. I doubt very much they'll get in here now. And of course, yeah, as you quite rightly say, Spurs fans will be wanting Nuno Santo's blood at the moment, considering that results haven't gone the way they wanted, of course. As the cross comes in from the far side and it deflects, but Spurs are going to try. They brought on Dele Alli. There's a Manchester United substitute being prepared on the far side. So the game isn't up yet for Spurs. There's still about 17 minutes plus injury time to go. You never know in this game. And as a certain Jimmy Greaves once said, Spurs legend in his own right, it's a funny old game. Here's Son with the corner. Anything can happen in the game of football. Not a very good corner, in fact. Didn't reach the first man, and Spurs trying to get possession. Bergwijn battling there, but he's lost it this time. And here come Manchester United on the break. Rashford's just got to be wary there. Had to just curtail his run, just in fear of being caught offside. It's a lovely ball to Cavani. He's inside the area, but he just lets it run in front of him. Had support with Shaw nearby on the left. Nice little breakout that from United. They just played the wrong balls there, just a little bit deeper. And that's a poor ball now. And Harry Kane has got a possession now down the right-hand side. He's only got Son in the middle. And he's tried to chip it in there, but really wasn't a very good ball indeed from Harry Kane. And that's been the story of his game. He hasn't really got involved enough. And there has got to be some serious questions asked about his commitment to the Tottenham cause. He stayed at the club, even though the speculation to Manchester City just simply didn't go away. I mean, he played really well in the latter stages of the European Championships. Now really, Kane should have. Well, I mean, when you pick out McTominay and you've got another Tottenham player coming over in support, that's not very good crossing and not very good play from Harry Kane. We're going to see Nemanja Matic come on in a second or two. Bruno Fernandes is coming off. Well, Solskjaer's got big game coming up. Of course, there's big games coming up in Europe, of course, next week. And Bruno Fernandes certainly will want to be part of all that. So Nemanja Matic is now on. Former Chelsea player, has won a league title with Chelsea, of course, in his days at Chelsea under Jose Mourinho. Was brought to the club by Mourinho, in fact. 14 minutes left to play. And the wheels on Ollie's bus are really turning quite nicely now for him. And they've responded today in the best possible way. Looked a tricky old trick for them down to North London this afternoon or this evening. But they've really put in a very dogged, very good away performance, which is fantastic. And we will have a player of the match, well, coming up in a second when I cross the Ryan next as well. I've got about 10 minutes or so to choose a player of the match for myself, and it's going to be a hard task. And Cavani scored, Ronaldo scored, United have played well as a team. Emerson Royal's made some good runs for Tottenham. It's going to be a pretty tough decision tonight in terms of the player of the match. I'm sure I'll get asked the question as to why I'll pick a certain player, as is always the case. But I'll pick it on my own merits and that sort of thing. Ryan's got about 3 minutes of his game to go, and as soon as we go out to play, we'll just get a progress report. And as that goes up, they're into the last 3 minutes of normal time at the Hive. Is there going to be a winner, Ryan?
Well, Barnet are currently on the attack for the first half, and the ball is crossed in, and Hull has scored a goal for Barnet. It is 2-1 here at the half. Hull has put Barnet back in front here with what could be their best opportunity of the second half, and he has scored brilliantly here, brilliantly placed the header into the bottom corner. Barnet have taken their foot off the gas all half, and Hull has managed to just nick these, possibly could have just nicked the 3 points here for Barnet here, as he has dispatched that ball beautifully into the net. And the Aldershot fans are going to feel so hard done by here, as referee Middleton has been against them all game, and they have now just conceded a second goal here when actually they were on top for majority of this half. Looking at my man of the match, it is going to be an Aldershot player as well. And it's going to be the man that has twisted this game here for Aldershot, and it's Mohamed Salah, who, since he's come on, has just given the new energy, the new flair to Aldershot, which is what they needed in the first half. It was a great substitution from Aldershot, but unfortunately, I don't think it's enough here as Barnet lead 2-1.
Thank you very much indeed. There you are. There, he's chosen his player of the match, and I must have been sidekick, because I haven't got a feed of the game on. By the way, I've only got the Man United game in front of me, and I thought, well, 3 minutes to go, we might get some action at Barnet, and sure enough, a goal has been given, and we brought it live, and we've got it live here on the TC Hub. How about that for timing? We couldn't have got that anymore. Anyway, we've got about 11 minutes to play in this game. We'll cross over to Ryan a little bit later on, and as soon as the full-time whistle goes for his full-time appraisal. But here we're going to concentrate on Tottenham's latest corner, won by Emerson Royale. Can Manchester United hold out? Spurs have got just over 10 minutes to try and nick a couple of goals. Can Son Heung-min make the difference? Deeper corner this time. On the volley. Oh, it was miscued badly there on the volley. Not sure who it was. And there's been a penalty appeal. We'll go over to Ryan in a second or two. Here's Emerson Royale. We've just got to stick with this Tottenham attack. Here's Son Heung-min. Here's Royale again. Spurs laying siege to the goal, and they can't get the ball through. And Manchester United have won a free kick. Let's just go quickly to Ryan for this penalty appeal. Down at Barnet, who lead 2-1 at the moment.
So Aldershot have then kicked off from the goal that was scored by Barnet, and they have instantly put the ball into the box, and there was appeals for a penalty, as there was a handball from the Barnet defender, and referee Middleton, unsurprisingly, said no penalty there. Looking back at it, I definitely think that Aldershot had a fair chance of appealing, and I think referee Middleton has definitely got that one wrong. But the Aldershot fans don't seem too surprised that the referee has gone against them in this game, as he has throughout this whole game. We're now into the final couple of minutes of this game. We are into stoppage time, which there will be 2 minutes of stoppage time in this game, as Barnet lead 2-1.
How many times have we heard referee Middleton's name mentioned tonight? He's not going to be a very popular man in Aldershot by the sounds of it. But here we're going to see Jesse Lingard on in a minute. He's going to replace Edison Cavani, who made it 2-0 earlier on in the second half. We've had 81 and a half minutes here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And Cavani and Ronaldo, who have now both been substituted, been saved for bigger future battles. Of course, they've got the Manchester Derby a week tomorrow, of course. That's a big game. And, of course, with Manchester City losing and United getting 0.3 points, this is actually going to be a much tighter affair than a lot of people would have expected about a week ago as well. And there's been a penalty allowed as well. We'll cross over to Ryan in just a second. United on the attack. Here's Fred. Can't thread the ball through. Tottenham clear. We will go over to Ryan in a second. It's all happening at Barnet, but at the moment the game is in progress here with 82 gone here on the TC Hub. Can Spurs actually get one back? Ball in there towards Kane, takes it down on the chest. Kane shoots, deflected, and well, It's not going Harry Kane's way. We'll just see this corner out, then we'll cross to Ryan. It's all happening here across our 2 matches here this evening. Updates of Barnet 2, Aldershot 1, and live commentary, alternate commentary of Tottenham 0, Manchester United 2. Kane took it down on the chest, hit the shot, rebounded offshore, then it hit the defender. His son was at the corner, again a much deeper one, and again it missed everybody. Comes out Ndombele on the far side. Now back once again. Can Spurs find something here down the far side? Remember, we've got FA Cup action next weekend. And one game I can tell you that will be live will be the Banbury game as well. And Ryan will be over that one at around about the same time as we started here. The ball's back in the round half. Let's just go and check on Ryan with Ryan again in a second or two about this penalty appeal. In fact, we can go there right now.
And Barnet have had their own penalty appeal of their own, and referee Middleton had awarded the penalty kick. So referee Middleton definitely said that he agreed with the appeals from the Barnet players that the player in Adam Marriott was taken down by Lewis Kinsella. But unfortunately for Barnet fans, the decision was overturned by advice from the assistant referee, and instead Marriott was booked for simulation in that phase of play. So Aldershot did not concede the penalty. The decision was overturned and Aldershot remain 2-1 down. But I'm not surprised that referee Middleton did side with the Barnet team, and neither are the Aldershot fans by the sounds of it, as they are saying some very choice words here for the referee.
Well, he can't move out for doing wrong, referee Middleton, by the sounds of it. How many times have we heard that name over the last few minutes? But anyway, we'll get a full-time report as soon as we can from Ryan. I forgot your name there for a second. Anyway, Manchester United have it with Matic, heads it out once again. Also, we've got next week, of course, on the TCO, we've got St Albans against Forest Green for you. That's going to be live next week, of course, on the TCO. That will be next Sunday with a 5:15 kickoff. So join Mike for that one. He will be commentating on that one for you. And that will be on Sunday. And I've got Dagenham and Redbridge against, at the moment, I'm down to do Dagenham and Redbridge against Salford on the Monday night. Wes has got the Colchester tie on Friday. So we've got 4 potential ties for you to flip over on over the weekend. The flavour and the verb of the FA Cup with 4 different commentators. Russ on Friday, Ryan on Saturday, Mike on Sunday, and myself potentially on the Monday, finishing off the coverage. And of course, we'll have the second round draw live as well for you soon after that Dagenham and Redbridge game. Here's a chance now for Rashford. He's through and goal. Rashford shoots. He scores into the right-hand corner. That's game, set and match for Manchester United with 4 minutes of the game left. 4 minutes to go. And Marcus Rashford, who's come on as a substitute, replacing one of the other goal scorers, Ronaldo, has made it safe for Manchester United without any question at all about it. It's been a magnificent response from what was a trying weekend last week for Manchester United fans. But they've got themselves a third goal. The flag stayed down. He was onside as the ball was threaded through. No doubt at all. He goes through 1-on-1, right foot, bang into the left-hand corner. Right-hand corner, I should say. And the game is won. And the pressure now eases on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But it now increases even more so on Nuno Espirito Santo's side, who really have looked an absolute shambles. It's Tottenham Hotspur 0, Manchester United 3. And let's get a full-time report from Barnet with Ryan.
And Barnet have come away from this game as 2-1 victors against Aldershot, who are very unlucky to not come away with at least a point in this game, as they definitely had periods of the second half where they were on top. But Hall came along with the goal that crucially decided where the 3 points were going, and that means that Barnet have now jumped from 19th up to 14th in the table, which has definitely helped their season turn around. And Aldershot remain in the relegation zone along with Southend United, unfortunately, and Dover Athletic, who are still on minus points due to their financial problems. But looking ahead to their next couple of games, Aldershot have got winnable games. So if they play the same way they played today, they could definitely be in with a chance of some points. And Barnet have got some very difficult games coming up, so it will show their quality. But for tonight, Barnet come away as the victors, and at least one team in North London is going to be happy tonight. Back to you, JB.
Indeed, and we'll hear from Ryan at full time with Mike Arneman and myself. We'll be having a little bit of a chit chat after the final whistles have gone here at Tottenham. So stay with us after full time, because myself, Mike, and Ryan will be having a bit of a chat about the two games, and of course about the football in general as a whole. So stay with us for that after the final whistle. And I can see lots of Spurs fans while we're at Barnet with Ryan. A lot of Spurs fans have seen enough, and I'm surprised they stayed that long, to be honest with you. The defending really from Tottenham has been shambolic. The attacking has been too obvious. It's been too obvious for the Manchester United defence to read. It's been very difficult, and I've got a player of the match to choose, and I've left it quite late because we've had all those updates from Barnet involving referee Middleton. We'll tell you that, and we'll tell you the player of the match in a second or two from this corner. Son takes into the penalty area, headed away by Maguire. And it won't surprise you to know, as regards man of the match, his son for Tottenham. Let's just stick with this attack for a second or two. Here's a chance inside the area for Spurs, looking for one back. Royale now takes possession. As soon as this attack, I promise you guys, I will pick a player of the match. I know I've waited a long time to bring you it, but I've had a good think about it. Spurs still have possession, so I'm going to stick with this as the ball played into the penalty area. United again, just hook it out. It's all hands on deck now. United can bring it away, and Cristiano Ronaldo will be the player of the match. And purely and simply, his volley was just simply world class. He's been an absolute menace to Tottenham throughout. Could have had a second, but was chalked out in the end, rightly for offside, but he really tormented United's defence and still looks a world-class, massive class act at the age of 30, ripe old age of 36. And he give him and Bruno Fernandes, I've got to give a special mention to, gave Tottenham's defence the run around. So Cristiano Ronaldo gets the player of the match, sponsored, of course, by Commentary Services, and I think probably a worthy winner. So Cristiano, that is, gets our player of the match. Right, we're into 3 minutes of time added on, for which we've had 30 seconds off here. We stick with you now till the end of this game. And, of course, then Ryan and myself will stay with Mike Arneman, who's in the nice warm studio down in London, across the way in London, or just outside it, at TC Hub Towers. And we will be chatting away about the day's football, and of course our two featured games, which saw Barnet nick a late winner. Aldershot will feel that the referee, Mr. Middleton, didn't give them much justice really in the world today, although they did have chances of their own accord anyway to win that match by the sounds of it, from what Ryan was telling us. And of course Tottenham really have been feeble against the United side, who have looked much better and much more ruthless, and have responded from a 5-0 drubbing, and one of the worst performances that this team have put under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. They've responded this week, you've got to say, in the best possible way, and warm up for what's going to be a very intriguing Manchester derby next Sunday. That is for certain, and what a game that promises to be now at Old Trafford. It's going to be much closer than what we would have anticipated about a week or so ago, maybe earlier today. Yellow card has been picked up as Tottenham now lose their discipline now towards the end. Romero has fouled Rashford. We've got a minute of normal time to for a stoppage time, Robert, to go here on a Saturday night. Saturday night's alternate commentary here on the TC Hub, JDAC Football, JB Sports, Storm FM. TCHub2. We're also on Twitter and Twitch. Don't forget our Twitter handle at Commentary Live 1, and we're on Facebook at www.facebook.com/The Commentary Hub. And we're also sponsored for the season by the Melon Streaming app, www.melonstreamingapp.com. 30 seconds then of the stoppage time to go. Manchester United back to their imperious best. There was a lot of questions, a lot of eyebrows raised, certainly by me when I looked at the teams about 30 minutes from kickoff. Three at the back, away from home, looked a bit dicey, but I have to say Varane in the side, I think makes Maguire and Lindelof look a lot more of a better defence, and a cheap corner conceded, but the referee has gone in any case, and what a result for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Well, he was a man under fire. He was a dead man walking, some may say. He was given the dreaded vote of confidence and 3 games to save his season, if reports are to be believed. Well, he's won one of those 3 games. He needs to win, and he's made a good start. The pressure will still be intensified, but not as much as it was during this week, that is for sure. As for Tottenham, problems really mounting up for Nuno Espirito Santo. His side really in the second half just didn't perform. They didn't look like scoring, and Harry Kane was a man that has just literally gone missing. Goals from Ronaldo on 40 just before half time. Then not long after the second half, Cavani made it 2. Ronaldo before that had already had a goal choked out for offside. And then Rashford, 4 minutes from the end of normal time, making it absolute. Manchester United now go up to 5th on goal difference above Arsenal. Tottenham now drop to 8th, with Brighton taking 7th place from them. So that's the top 8. Chelsea now 3 points top from Liverpool. It's now beginning to look a very interesting Premier League table at this point in time. As we cross back to the studio, and Mike Harneman with a final score here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on a great night for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, in a man before the match under pressure, but the pressure will have eased somewhat as he salutes the Manchester United fans. It's finished here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham Hotspur 0, Manchester United 3.
Thank you, JB. So it's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Manchester United that win what some were referring to as the battle of, I think it was El Sakiko, I believe, between Tottenham and Manchester United. And it was the latter side that won that one there by 3-0. And of course, in the other game, it was Barnet 2, Aldershot 1 as well. So we've got the two of them, JB and Ryan, both sticking around. And my first question really has to go to you, JB, and it's in regards to sort of, Nuno Espirito Santo and Tottenham. Where do they go from here now? Of course, they got a game in midweek in the Europa League, and then they go to Everton after that Premier League action next weekend.
Well, it's going to be tough now, isn't it? I mean, I have to be honest. They looked a very, very disjointed outfit in the second half. They played well for most of the first half, let's not forget, and had a couple of good opportunities. But really, there's a lot. I think there's a lot of internal team problems. The Harry Kane issue, several players. I just don't think. I mean, the tactics suspect. I mean, they've lost 2 on the bounce. I mean, they had chances at West Ham last week, didn't take them. And got punished for them. And defensively, they haven't replaced Vertonghen or and that lot. It's been a horror show. And Tottenham fans, will be fuming because it took Levy about 5 months to appoint the manager. He probably had a decent shortlist, but went for Santo. Now, listen, let's not diss what he did at Wolves. Before that, he did really well. Decided to leave after 2 or 3 years. But was he the right man for Spurs? Looking at that performance today, I would say not.
See, that would have been my next question to you, JB. You're kind of jumping the gun a little bit there. But, my question would have been in regards to Nuno Espirito Santo. And you've answered it there, that you don't feel that he's the right man for Tottenham in regards to how things are panning out for them at this present moment in time. So,
Not what I've seen today, I'm afraid. And I'm only basing it on what I've seen today. I mean, I've only covered 2, maybe 3 Spurs matches for the TCO. I mean, I covered the North London derby, as you know, and for the first 45 minutes of that game, they were totally outclassed and outplayed by a ruthless Arsenal. And I saw more elements of that today, unfortunately. And United, when they get on song, they were just ruthless, and it was just like what Arsenal were a few weeks back. And again, I saw elements of that. And there's serious issues at Tottenham Hotspur right now with the players, the manager, the chairman. I feel sorry for Tottenham supporters. Yes, they had a good cup win in a week at Burnley and probably just about deserved it when I look back in the cold lighted day. But that aside, really, the last 2 league performances, you've got to be honest, they've not been good enough.
Thank you, JB. I'm going to put a question to Ryan here as well. Of course, he was watching the game just down the road a little bit at Barnet, and it's a great victory for Barnet in the end. They rode their luck a little bit at times, but they got over the line, didn't they? And that, last couple of minutes, was very frantic, and you've done a very sort of sterling job in keeping us cool and calm and composed as you did in those sort of circumstances as well.
Yeah, and I mean, Barnet, they're the specialists in that, in delivering late drama. I mean, a lot of their goals come within the last 15 minutes of games, so you can never write Barnet off. But unfortunately, what they've not done in previous games that they actually managed to do today against Aldershot is they've not managed to defend very well. But Aldershot had their chances in the game today, and during those periods of play, that's where Barnet held their own and fully deserved in a way to at least grab a point out of this game just by their defending. So the fact that they've come away with 3 points maybe could be considered lucky. Some of the refereeing decisions in this game were doubtful, but Barnet, to full credit, just based on their defending, definitely deserved to come away with at least a point. And luckily for them, they've come away with all 3 points thanks to Hull.
And that would have been my next question as well. You're also going ahead a little bit, but in regards to the refereeing performance, he's certainly off the Aldershot fans' Christmas list, isn't he?
100%. And I mean, this is the second game this season that Mr. Middleton's done. And I mean, he had Aldershot's opening game of the season. And in that game, he wasn't a fan's favourite either. And they made that quite clear. So I think when Aldershot fans knew that Daniel Middleton was going to be the referee for this game, they unfortunately did have fears that the decisions were going to go against them. But although the decisions did go against them, Aldershot still gave quite a good fight against the Barnet team that could have possibly have been taken if those chances had been capitalised on.
And of course, you mentioned Mohamed Salah as well, come on and had an impact for Aldershot. So, of course, you gave him your player of the match as well. And do you think that, he's one player that was certainly unfortunate to be on the losing side?
He's definitely unfortunate to be on the losing side, and I think that if he started, he possibly could have actually changed the game completely and could have ended up being on the winning team because he had such an impact after coming on. And I mean, the circumstances surrounding his substitution wasn't great. I mean, that crunching tackle, I don't know how it ended up still being 11 versus 11 in that game because it should have easily have been a red card, but Mr. Middleton decided differently. But no, I mean, Salah was absolutely phenomenal for Aldershot, and I can see some of the Football League teams possibly eyeing him up in January, if not in the summer.
And that's quite an interesting point there, of course, with the next transfer window just round the corner, really, only a couple of months away now. JB, just in regards to Manchester United as well, they bounced back, and it's a perfect day for them, isn't it? 3 goals, clean sheet, couldn't have asked for any more.
Absolutely. I mean, the pressure was on Solskjaer, as you said. It was the El Saki goal, wasn't it, today? But the pressure was on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I mean, I did the Liverpool game recorded last week, and I spoke to Russ in the week about it, and we actually were amazed he hadn't been sacked, but. What he did do today, he went through at the back and he put Rafael Varane in. And I think that made a bit of a difference, really. And I think it made Lindelof and Maguire, who absolutely had feeble games last week, play a lot better. And I think Maguire said something on Football Focus at lunchtime that he felt so upset about the result. And I think there was an intent there for Manchester United. Went for the word goal. You could see that. And I have to say, Ronaldo looked like the Ronaldo of old. I said at the top of the game before the kickoff that, I said Ronaldo, since he's come, might have been a bit of a hindrance. He wasn't an hindrance today, that is for sure, because that's why I gave him player of the match. I only say pure genius in commentary when I've seen a world-class goal, and we saw from Ronaldo today a world-class goal. How he's controlled that Fernandes cross, only he will know, but it was an amazing goal. Great to be on the microphone to describe it. Fantastic. And I think Cavani did well as well, got his goal. Rashford came on, had put fresh pace in there, and it looked as if Manchester United had a green bill of health during the week by the looks of it. But I tell you what, now with City losing today, I tell you what, it's going to be a feisty old Manchester derby next Sunday. I'll tell you that now. And if people are going to say this is a foregone conclusion for Manchester City, I think you might have to think again, because I think this Manchester derby next week will be an absolute classic, let me tell you.
Oh, 100%. I'm looking forward to that one. Of course, that's going to be a brilliant game. And of course, just a point I want to make as well, and you might agree with this, of course, Mo Salah was fantastic for Liverpool last week. Everyone was sort of raving about, is he the best in the world? Cristiano Ronaldo today, I think that was the kind of prove a point, wasn't it? It's like, well, I'm still here.
Absolutely. He might be the ripe old age of 36 without being disrespectful to him, and he'll know that himself. But today he demonstrated why he's still one of the best players in the world, and has demonstrated that fact for the last sort of 15, 20 years or more, or whatever, however he's been playing the game. It feels like he's been playing the game forever. I was just coming out of my teens when he just started joining Manchester United. I'm 38 now. Sorry to give my age away, listeners, but having said all that, he proved a point. But I think, he needed to. And I think Manchester United had to put on a good team performance, because Solskjaer's head, let's face it, before tonight was on the block. There was no two ways about it. Because when you look at the way they capitulated against Liverpool, he changed tactic, he changed it formation-wise. He played Wan-Bissaka and Shaw further forward in the midfield area. And again, those little tweaks just made the difference. Now, the next week's game against Manchester City is critical, because if he loses that, then the knives are going to be out for him yet again. So he has to get a positive result at home to Manchester City. But Manchester City will be feeling the heat now. Crystal Palace, what a result for them. That kickstarts the areas. If it hadn't kickstarted their season already, it has today. That's a great result. Liverpool dropping points as well. The big winners today, when you look over the Premier League as a whole at the top, you've got to say Chelsea. By what I've heard, they were very ruthless up at Newcastle today. That is a given. So I think we're now starting to see the pressure cranked up on the likes of Liverpool, Manchester City, and teams like that at the top. And Thomas Tuchel is, you'll agree with me on this, he's going about his business very quietly, very astutely. He's got his Chelsea team playing the way he wants to play it. At the moment, Chelsea can't do no wrong. And, as a Burnley fan, I only have a couple of days to enjoy this result today at home to Brentford. And we've got to go to Stamford Bridge next Saturday. And believe me, I'm fearing the worst, because the way Chelsea are playing right now, they could stick a hatful past us next week. And I'm not trying to be a defeatist. I'm being a realist here, because Chelsea at the moment, without a shadow of a doubt, when you look at the top end of the Premier League market, they are the tops at the moment, and they're going to take some stopping. There's no doubt about that.
And you mentioned your side, Burnley, in there as well. Before I let you go, I do want to get your thoughts on Burnley. Of course, you watched that game between Burnley and Brentford earlier.
I did.
So first of all, how good were Burnley in general, and how good is Maxwell Cornet as well?
Maxwell Cornet is an absolute superstar. before I talk to him in a bit more depth, I think the team performance was a lot better. We didn't play as well as we should have done. I thought we played okay against Southampton. It was the individual mistakes that cost us 2 points last week. And I listened to the local BBC radio that evening, and Glenn Little was saying if we don't get results fast, we could end up in a relegation battle. And I think they may have heard what he said there, because today they looked a different team. They looked a team transformed. Sean Dyche's 9 years in charge might have had something to do with it. The crowd got behind him. You could sense that watching the game through on the TV. And it was amazing. Wood got through, scored. Also helps when David Ray is out for 5 months as well, to be fair. And that's no disrespect to him, when he suffered that injury last week at Leicester, onto Leicester. But the first goal, going through Wood, that was the Wood I know and love. It's sticking that in the net where on other occasions he's just either hit it at the goalkeeper or he's hit it over the bar. Then Cornet actually should have added a second, but was had his goal marginally choked off by VAR for offside, which was a bit unfortunate, to be quite perfectly honest. I would have given it, but I'm biased. But then it didn't matter because Lawton comes in, poor defending from Brentford, it's got to be said. Lawton comes in, free header, 2-0. And then Cornet, what a genius this guy is. And he finishes his third goal terrific well into the top right-hand corner. And I'm dancing away, not being able to believe what we're seeing. And we could have been 4 or 5 up, although to give Brentford their fair dues, they did have a good spell in the first half where Tony forced a terrific save from Nick Pope, who looks back to his best, by the way. Brentford had a bit more going. They made some substitutions, and one of their subs scored a good goal, great goal. Although I'm going to say, although I didn't think on the balance of play they deserved it, but it was a great goal nevertheless. But we saw the game out. The game was won at 3-0, but still one clean sheet. That's a little bit of a concern, but it's a step in the right direction. But the likelihood is that Leeds will go to Norwich and win. We'll be back in the bottom 3 again. And then we've got Chelsea next week. And, we can't afford to make too many slips up. Mind you, we play well against, mind you, when the back's to a wall, we've actually got a decent record at Chelsea. So you never know. We might get a draw or something next week. But it's wishful thinking, Mike. I've got to be realistic. When you're a Burnley fan, as you know, when you follow Stevenage, you've got to be realistic about certain things. And, the likelihood of Burnley going in there and repeating their heroics of 2017-18 when we went there on opening day and won 3-2, I think a very, very slim, probably a 5% chance of that being repeated. But football's a funny old game, but you'd still fancy Chelsea next week. So, but it was essential, though, to get the 3 points on the board. Great team performance. I hope we can get a little bit of a draw maybe next week, but as I say, it's wishful thinking. But a great 3 points nonetheless today.
I thought you were going to be raving. You were going to be like, well, if West Brom can beat them 5-2 last week, then why not? Last year, sorry, I should say.
Yeah, but they didn't have Thomas Tuchel in charge. Well, they did have Thomas Tuchel in charge, but he'd only just took over, hadn't he? But this season, it's a totally different animal. When you've got Lukaku and firing on all cylinders and all that, it's a completely different animal. So you can't really judge Chelsea last year to this year, can you really? They're a bit more of a different animal this year, Mike, and it's got to be said. And that's one of the reasons why they're top of the league, because they've been very, very consistent. Yeah, they've had the odd defeat. I think they've had one defeat against Manchester City, and they were a bit unlucky to lose that, if I'm being honest. But they are top of the league with 26. They've got 26 points for a reason, because they're consistent as hell. They're brilliant. They're a good side. I've been impressed with them so far, and I think they're going to be hard to stop right now with the way that Man City have dropped 3 today, Liverpool have dropped 2. Thomas Tuchel will be rubbing his hands tonight with glee. I can assure you that. Yeah,
that's absolutely right. And I think Chelsea and Thomas Tuchel, well, they were certainly my tip to go all the way this season and win the title. I know they were. I'm not too sure if you tipped them to win the league, but you certainly tipped them to be up there, didn't you?
I didn't. I thought they'd be top 4. I actually backed Liverpool. I still stick with Liverpool because you can't write off Liverpool. But Chelsea are the team to be shot at the moment, and they're in the driving seat, quite rightly so. Their performances have shown The performances have shown, and have shown to be world class, and they've got the points to back that up. As I said, just 1 defeat from 10. That's a good start to the season in anyone's language in any league. So, you've got to give the honours to Chelsea at the moment, but there's a long, long way to go. And the real test for Chelsea will come halfway through the season, when the games start piling up. In December, Christmas, New Year period, FA Cup third round. I think they're still involved in the Carabao as well. So they're in the hunt for at least 4 trophies at the moment. It's not. This will be the acid test. December will be the acid test for them. How will they react as a side? And if they pick up 1 or 2 injuries, it could all alter. So December, I think next month will be very critical if they, in terms of whether they're good enough to last the course over a 38-game season.
Yeah, that's right. And Chelsea are indeed still in the Carabao Cup quarter-final as well. They're facing off with Brentford next time out.
What a tie that is.
Obviously, a side that you know, because obviously your Burnley side played them and beat them today. So that's obviously the London affair. Arsenal at home to Sunderland. Leicester travel to Liverpool. That's a great tie as well. And then Spurs and West Ham. So there's a really, intriguing and interesting quarter-final lineup for that as well. So I don't know. I'll come to Ryan on this one. The Carabao Cup. That's the quarter-final. Looking like that. Sunderland, got the draw that they wanted. Really, Lee Johnson, I think it was, said he wanted Arsenal away, and then maybe one of their bigger sides. Do you think he might come back and bite him?
I definitely think that will come back and bite them. I mean, especially if you look at the recent form that Arsenal are in, they've hit the form now that people expect. And I think it might even possibly be a little bit disrespectful there from Lee Johnson to say that he was favouring Arsenal or Tottenham, because, I mean, especially as we've seen today with Tottenham, it's sort of kicking a team while they're down. And that's something that I definitely wouldn't expect in football. But I definitely think that it will come back to bite him. I think Arsenal will end up beating Sunderland, and possibly it might even be quite comfortably as well, especially if you look at the way that Arsenal played today against Leicester. If they have that sort of mentality and that sort of ability on the field against Sunderland, then I can see it only going one way.
Absolutely. And of course, I mentioned at half-time that his Sunderland side, were beaten 5-1 away at Rotherham today as well. So, as I said at the time, focus on the league first of all, because obviously that's what you need to prioritise.
And that's definitely something that, I mean, I've spoken to Sunderland fans over the past couple of years, and I mean, they're in a similar situation to what Southend were in, just not as bad, where they're playing football in a league that they shouldn't even be in. They should be up there with the likes of, the championship clubs that are fighting for promotion, or even possibly fighting for their survival in the Premier League. But instead, they're sitting down in League One. And I know that Sunderland fans aren't happy with that. And I know that they do want more in the league. So maybe, like you said at halftime, Lee Johnson should actually be focusing on the league and not playing these mind games in the cup against teams that could potentially actually make him look quite silly.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, JB, your Burnley side were knocked out last round by Tottenham, although Tottenham
Thanks for reminding me.
were fortunate to get through in the end, with the red card in particular that wasn't given. Spurs, West Ham is next for them, and obviously you covered West Ham in the game when they knocked out Manchester United. They've obviously gone on and knocked out Man City now as well. What a game that's going to be. Of course, two sides in real sort of opposite form, aren't they? Of course, West Ham are doing well in the competition, but Tottenham are sort of dire straits for them at the moment.
Absolutely, and I thought Tottenham actually were quite poor at Burnley. Mind you, Burnley were just as bad as well, really. It was a game, really, that didn't have many chances in it. It wasn't a great game, so I think you did well to pick Preston against Liverpool, by the way. I think West Ham will fancy their chances, even away from home. I think West Ham, at the moment, they're on a roll. They've got Aston Villa tomorrow. Again, they'll fancy their chances in that one. One thing I've been impressed with West Ham so far is David Moyes' man management. He's playing Mikel Antonio, who, as we all know from his earlier career at West Ham and at Sheffield Wednesday when he first came to prominence, he was a winger. He was a winger by trade, and he's converted him into a centre forward, and it has transformed Mikel Antonio's career for good, because he's unstoppable at the moment. He's in great form. Scored the winner against Tottenham, incidentally, last week. got in front of, ironically, Harry Kane to score. So, I think that'll be an intriguing game. I can't, you know what? I fancy West Ham strongly in that one. No disrespect to Spurs, but based on what I'm seeing at the moment with Spurs, I didn't think they were that good against Burnley, but they had enough. Could Oliver Skip been sent off? Yes, possibly. But, at the end of the day, you can't just blame going out the cup on one refereeing decision, because Burnley didn't play well enough on the night by their own accord. So you can't really keep blaming the referee for anything that goes wrong. So Tottenham just about had enough nous to get through it. They were very fortunate, but they got through it. But I think West Ham, so far this season in the league and in the Carabao, and let's not forget the Europa League, they're on a good run at that. They haven't lost a game in that yet. They're on a really good run, and it was a decent group they had. They're going to take some beating at the moment, because Moyes, I'm telling you now, he is probably the best manager they've had for years, probably since the days, I will say, of Harry Redknapp. And that's going back 20 years. So they will not, I don't think that would have been a tie that Spurs would have wanted. So West Ham will be licking their lips, despite the fact that they've got to go away to White Hart Lane, or to the new White Hart Lane, I should say, for the quarter-final. But I'll tell you what, West Ham are in a terrific vein of form. And if they win a trophy, good luck to them, because they've deserved it. The way they've played the first half of the season, you've got to say they've been impressive, and they'll fancy their chances in them quarterfinals down at Spurs. That is for certain.
Okay, thank you, JB. I'll let you go now, and I'll also, Ryan, I'll let you go as well. Thank you for the updates there on the Barnet game against Aldershot, Ryan. It sounds like a really sort of riveting game, and plenty of action in that one. So fantastic job that you did there as well.
That's fine. And JB, I wouldn't let the Aldershot fans hear you say that it doesn't matter about a referee's decision, because they may come hunting you down.
What I was saying really during the commentary is I only based it on what you said, Ryan. They do have chances by their own accord to win games. So you can't. Yeah, so you can't just blame the referee. That's what I'm saying. And my friend Trevor Sports, he's a bit of an Aldershot fan as well. I'm not sure he'll be after my blood tonight if he's listening. Evening, Trevor, by the way. He's a friend of mine, and I'm sure he'll understand where I'm coming from there. It's been a great night, lads.
I think the Aldershot fans will want Mr. Middleton a bit more.
I think I've heard enough Mr. Middleton for one night.
Yeah, absolutely. As I said before, he's certainly off the Aldershot fans' Christmas list. But thank you, JB, as well, for that brilliant coverage of Tottenham against Manchester United, and a much-needed victory for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well, as we touched on.
Absolutely, it's been a joy and it's been a delight. And now I'm off for I'm off for a bit of grub, and I need it after tonight. I'm telling you, it was a nice bit of tea, well earned, I think. Anyway, take care, and I'll see you soon. Thank you, Mike.
Cheers. Thank you, JB. Just a quick reminder to everyone that we've got Chris Coughlin on tomorrow as well. He's going to be covering the game between Aston Villa and West Ham, so make sure that you tune in for that one. But other than that, on the day where Manchester City were beaten at home by Crystal Palace, and Manchester United went to Tottenham, they did what they needed to do. They bounced back in style after their defeat to Liverpool last week. It's all set for that Manchester derby next weekend. Cheers, everyone.